save $85 by literally clicking.
Scuderia Ferrari Edition, the heart of the race.
Quixa presenta?
Un razzo interplanetario?
No, non esageriamo.
Una polizza assicurativa?
Banale, non solo.
Un'offerta esclusiva?
Quasi, ma non proprio.
Un nuovo prodotto smart e innovativo?
Risposta esatta. È Quixa Smart, una linea di soluzioni innovative di Quixa, la compagnia 100% digitale di AXA Italia. Perché ci sono situazioni in cui non hai bisogno solo di una polizza, ma di servizi semplici e concreti per vivere con più tranquillità. Prodotti smart con un'offerta smart. Un mese gratis e disdici quando vuoi. Ma capiamo meglio di cosa si tratta. Tra le soluzioni proposte da Quixa Smart c'è salute. Hai un medico o un pediatra a tua disposizione anche in videochiamata o direttamente a casa tua. E quando non puoi uscire, pensiamo noi a mandare la ricetta in farmacia e a portarti le medicine a casa. Inoltre, puoi richiedere l'assistenza di un'infermiera, di una collaboratrice domestica, di un babysitter, di un dog sitter, di un fisioterapista e di un autista. Tra le soluzioni Quixa Smart c'è anche sicurezza digitale, per stare tranquillo quando navighi su internet e quando fai degli acquisti online, ma anche una difesa concreta contro il cyberbullismo per tutti i membri della tua famiglia. E poi c'è anche Quixa Smart Casa, per vivere con tranquillità gli imprevisti legati alla casa. Hai bisogno ad esempio di un idraulico, di un elettricista o di un altro artigiano? Con Quixa Smart Casa hai un esperto a casa tua, disponibile 24 ore su 24 tutti i giorni dell'anno. Quixa Smart, l'innovazione digitale in tasca. Un mese gratis e disdici quando vuoi.
Scusa, a quando il razzo interplanetario?
T-Racing, Scuderia Ferrari Edition, the heart of the race.
Quixa presenta?
Un razzo interplanetario?
No, non esageriamo.
Una polizza assicurativa?
Banale, non solo.
Un'offerta esclusiva?
Quasi, ma non proprio.
Un nuovo prodotto smart e innovativo?
Risposta esatta. È Quixa Smart, una linea di soluzioni innovative di Quixa, la compagnia 100...
T-Racing, Scuderia Ferrari Edition, the heart of the race. GT3 Racing, Scuderia Ferrari Edition, the heart of the race.
Quixa presenta?
Un razzo interplanetario?
No, non esageriamo.
Una polizza assicurativa?
Banale, non solo.
Un'offerta esclusiva?
Quasi, ma non proprio.
Un nuovo prodotto smart e innovativo.
Risposta esatta. È Quixa Smart, una linea di soluzioni innovative di Quixa, la compagnia 100% digitale di AXA Italia. Perché ci sono situazioni in cui non hai bisogno solo di una polizza, ma di servizi semplici e concreti per vivere con più tranquillità. Prodotti smart con un'offerta smart. Un mese gratis e disdici quando vuoi. Ma capiamo meglio di cosa si tratta. Tra le soluzioni proposte da Quixa Smart c'è salute. Hai un medico o un pediatra a tua disposizione anche in videochiamata o direttamente a casa tua. E quando non puoi uscire, pensiamo noi a mandare la ricetta in farmacia e a portarti le medicine a casa. Inoltre, puoi richiedere l'assistenza di un'infermiera, di una collaboratrice domestica, di un babysitter, di un dog sitter, di un fisioterapista e di un autista. Tra le soluzioni Quixa Smart c'è anche sicurezza digitale, per stare tranquillo quando navighi su internet e quando fai degli acquisti online, ma anche una difesa concreta contro il cyberbullismo per tutti i membri della tua famiglia. E poi c'è anche Quixa Smart Casa, per vivere con tranquillità gli imprevisti legati alla casa. Hai bisogno ad esempio di un idraulico, di un elettricista o di un altro artigiano? Con Quixa Smart Casa hai un esperto a casa tua, disponibile 24 ore su 24 tutti i giorni dell'anno. Quixa Smart, l'innovazione digitale in tasca. Un mese gratis e disdici quando vuoi.
Scusa, a quando il razzo interplanetario?
So, hello then everybody, welcome along to the esportsseries.net league for ACC, Assetto Corsa Competizione. I'm the ace, Aidan Bro, speaking, and I have in the commentary box with me once again Matteo Lorenzetti from round one. How are we doing, Matteo?
Happy to find you back here in the commentary box. Hope that even tonight we have an exciting race like the first one.
Indeed, yes, we're in for a cracking race once again here at Barcelona. We're currently in a free practice session just whilst the drivers get their setups nailed and ready to go for qualifying, which will begin shortly. As you can see, 2 minutes 40 left for the drivers to just finish these laps, but we're in for an exciting round, as Matteo said, and we're here at Barcelona, the Circuit de Catalunya, and it's going to be hot conditions. Dry for most of the race, I would think. I don't think we're expecting any rain or anything like that, but after the first race, if that's anything to go by, we're in for an absolute thrilling battle at the front and during the mid-pack as well, I would think. So, yeah, we're going to have a little bit of a look back at round one as well. We're going to have a look through some of the penalties for some drivers, and Matteo is going to talk you through those now.
As we saw, because I checked the race, the streaming after the race. I think that we got most of the action during the race. We didn't lost many of the most important overtakes, but also of the accidents. So the stewards didn't receive many complaints, many protests, but some protests has been. Some harsh penalties has been awarded because some protests are quite important in the dynamic of the championship. Because if you remember, we got some contact between Francesco Dondi and Luca Losio in the early part of the race, if you remember. Many contests instead, because stewards actually have awarded Francesco Dondi of one penalty championship. Means that he basically lost a position in the race, in the final classification of the race. But more importantly, we got three grid, let's say, penalties for Luca Losio. That has the famous contact, if you remember, with Francesco Dondi again. So he lose further positions after what happened by the end of the what happened by the end of the race. Likely he had some issues with the tire change. If you remember, after his last pit stop, he came out quite slowly from the pits. Then there's been an accident. I don't remember exactly which accident was. There's been a protest between Davide Schiattarella and Davide Losio, and Davide Losio got the worst of it because he had 8 places of penalty. Yeah, that's a lot of points.
Very big penalty.
Yeah, quite harsh, I would say. I didn't remember exactly which accident it was, but 8 penalties means something. Then we got just a simple ammunition. I didn't remember exactly the English term. Warning, sorry, between Davide Schiattarella and Davide Chiesa for just a racing incident. Then again, Carturan got two places penalty for a contact with Angelo Tirfiglio, and 1 place of penalty for Gabriele Semeraro during an accident with Roberto Carturan. So that's it. Not many protests, and a quite harsh one for Davide Losio, but I think that for the championship dynamic, the most important were the Luca Losio one for the accident with Francesco Dondi, and also a slight, let's say, a single place of penalty for, again, for this time for Francesco Dondi for a little clash with Luca Losio.
Okay, yeah, thanks very much for that update, because it does shine some light on some of the incidents from last week, as we saw live during the race last week. Sorry, the week before, 2 weeks ago, there was a few questionable moments, but on the most part, I thought the drivers were very well behaved, to be honest with you. But yeah, it was a very exciting race.
Fair racing, I say.
Yes, indeed.
I think the most part of the incident were caused by nice agonistic behavior, so good for them.
Yeah, so we're currently on board here with 17.5 minutes remaining with Jean Frest, who's currently in P1, but no one has set a time as of yet, and he looks to be the first driver out on track in the Ferrari. and he's coming through turn 4, I believe this is now. No, sorry, turn 5, the long left-hander down the middle of the track now, around the middle of the lap, sorry, and down into turn number 6, and then through 7, and the difficult turn 8 and 9 as well here. So flat out, nearly right-hander at the top of the hill. It's off camber, so it's a bit of a tricky corner to get right in any car, but he looks to have managed to get that right. Now he's got to spot his braking point down into turn 10, and he's going to brake hard at the 150 metre board. Is he going to hit the apex? Yes, very nicely indeed, and he gets off the corner well as well. He won't take too much curb, I don't think, on the inside of 11 and into 12. And now through 12 on the exit. Try not to run wide into the gravel if you can avoid it, and set yourself for the final chicane, which is a right and then left and right again. He looks to have negotiated the first part okay, and the second part looks to be alright as well. He runs a little bit wide on the sausage curb, which may have hampered him through the final corner, but that looks like a pretty decent lap so far as a banker lap for Jamfrest, and it's a 145.6, immediately beaten by Luca Lozio with a 144.1. So he's gone 1.5 seconds quicker than the lap we've just seen from Jamfrest, has this man, Luca Lozio, as he goes down into turn 1 now.
So we can also take a look at the actual classification for the drivers and also the teams championship. I'm here looking at the classification. We got Alessandro Porta with 15 points. Then Andrea Capoccia with 45 points in second position. Niccolò Bilancini third with 40 points. 38 points for Alberto Janfrest. 36 points for Luca Lozio. Let's remember he got 3 places penalty, so he got less points than previously awarded. Then 34 points for Francesco Dondi, 30 points for Carturan, 30 points again for Gabriele Semeraro, and 30 points for Giuseppe Montalbano. Then again, Andrea De Blasio in 10th position with 28 points, Angelo Trifiglio 11 with 26 points, and Luca Tozzato with 24 points in 12th position. And then all the way down until the last driver that has been awarded with points, that is Davide Lozio in 19th position with just 1 point. If we take a look to the teams championship, we got the Racing Line Motorsport in first position with 80 points, the GT World Race Carman in second place with 60 points, alongside the Jean Alesi Sport Academy, again then with 60 points, the N12 team with 52 points, and then all the others team at actually 0 points.
Okay, well, there you have it then. So after one round, we've got...
Looks really closely matched, at least for the team classification.
Yeah, that's definitely what I was gathering from them points readings, is that it's already close. Obviously only one round gone so far, but and another 4 to run, and 2 of which we don't actually know where we're going to be racing yet. It's going to be on 2 of the new Intercontinental GT Challenge tracks, which I believe are... You've got Suzuka coming, Bathurst and Kyle Army, so it could be any of those, which will be interesting to see how the drivers adapt to the new tracks. I know Kyle Army is one that I definitely haven't driven before on any game, so that's going to be interesting to see. Never driven the game, never driven the track at all, sorry. Obviously driven the game, but it's going to be one of those tracks that I think a lot of people haven't driven, and especially in GT3 cars possibly, and it's going to make it tricky to learn at first. So if that's one of the tracks chosen, I would think that everyone will enjoy it, learning the new track, to be honest. But back to qualifying for a moment, we've got Puzzarini in P1 at the moment. He's in the Porsche, and he's actually gone 2.5 tenths quicker than Luca Lozio, who is currently sitting in second position now. And third position, we've got Capoccia, who is in the Ferrari, who's actually just gone off at the final chicane, I think. I'm not sure where he's gone. He's actually reset back to the pits. And then we've got Montalbano also in a Porsche, P4. So we've actually got 2 Porsches on the front row and 1 on the second row as well. And then it comes Tosanto I believe that is.
Tozzato.
Tozzato, even. I will say it right.
Luca Tozzato.
He's currently 1 second off, but not very far away from Montalbano in 4th. So the Mercedes looking like it could be fairly quick round here, as he's held up a little bit by a Ferrari, I think, in front. He runs a bit wide as well. So the Jean Alesi esports driver struggling a little bit with traffic here, actually, from the 671. Looks to have let him gone now, though, actually. And that looked to be Francesco Dondi holding him up just a touch, probably on an outlap himself. We've got just under 12 minutes of qualifying, and he's had enough as the Mercedes. He's actually pulled off the circuit, so we'll go to Francesco Dondi, because I believe his time at the moment is 1.2 seconds off, nearly, off the pole time, and I think this driver will be able to find time on this lap, so we'll have a little follow around. He's got some traffic coming out the pit lane, though. Let's see if they can negotiate the way through turns 1, 2 and 3 before he catches them. I would think he might get a little bit of understeer through 3, because it's a very fast corner as turn 3, and he might pick up a bit of a dirty air, maybe even some slipstream actually on the exit here, so hopefully those drivers will see that he's on a hot lap. But who do you think tonight, Matteo, is going to do well around here? Because it's looking like it's a Porsche track, to be honest, with the Porsches at the front, but there's a couple of Mercedes and Ferrari in the mix as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I will keep an eye on Puzzarini, because I knew that he trained quite hard for this race, because he was quite disappointed for the result of the first race. Puzzarini, it's absolutely a nice driver. Also Capoccia, it's one of the best of the GT World Race team, and I think it's one of the strongly suggested drivers for the championship, for the final championship. I had underestimated Montalbano from the first race, but this guy seems he got the mojo to stay with the best, so good for him. And then all the others, we can expect some surprises from Dondi, and of course some nice outsider like Semeraro or Trifiglia. But for now, it seems that the skill level that we saw in the first race, it's has been translated during this second race quite evenly.
Yeah, definitely. The time that Dondi's now set has moved him up to P5, just under 1 second away from the pole time, but we'll have another look down the order, because it looks like the front 4 haven't changed as of yet, but one driver who has crept up into the top 10 now looks to be Angelo in the Aston Martin. I'm not sure how the Aston will go around here, but he's managed to hustle it into the top 10, and it's very, very close around where he is. There's actually about 5 or 6 drivers, all about 1 or 2 tenths apart, but we've just had a time from, I think it was Corturan in 7th place. That's in an Aston Martin as well, the number 933 car, and he's just gone P7, 1 second off the pole position time at the moment. So we'll jump and see where he is now. Yes, he's coming through turn 3 now, so he's just started another lap.
I spoke with Angelo the previous days. We were together in this peak. He was training relentlessly in preparing this race, and he explained to me that the Aston Martin seems a good car, the classic all-rounder, let's say. It doesn't excel in any area compared to Porsche or Ferrari, but seems the perfect kind of car that can adapt quite well to any kind of track. So also Angelo, it's a classic driver that it doesn't take much more risks, so it's a guy that thinks his first priority is to get to the end of the race and collect good points. So I think that with this particular mindset, that the Aston Martin could be a good car that could say something at the end of the final driver classification during the last race.
Yeah, the Aston Martin definitely is one of those cars that's what they class as a good all-rounder. It's one of those that's got this new design about it this year as well, and last year in the blancpain series with the V8 engine coming to life. It was obviously always a V12, which was a lot of people's favourites with the noise that the V12 made. But the V8 I think sounds just as nice, as you could hear on board then with Angelo in his Aston. He's coming to the end of the lap now. Let's see if he can improve. He has been bumped down a little bit as well, because it looks like Davide Lozio, father of Luca Lozio, has gone in P11 ahead of him. And also, I think it's the Lamborghini. Yes, it is. It's the Lamborghini of... I'm not going to pronounce his name wrong. Correct me,
Davide Lozio. Yep, Davide Lozio.
No. The Lamborghini.
Chiesa. Sorry.
Chiesa. That's the one.
Chiesa.
Yes. Chiesa in the 225
you
Lambo.
had issues, Davide Chiesa. You had issue with the Chiesa name.
Yes.
It's the church guy. You remember for the first.
Yes, I
for
remember
the
now.
from the first race.
So he has now gone up into P10. He's the only Lamborghini in the field actually, which is surprising to me because with it being an
Kudos to him.
Italian brand, I would have thought that we've seen a lot of Ferraris, but we also see a hell of a lot of Porsches and Aston Martins. And I don't know whether it's because it's the new renditions of the car, and the Lamborghini is an older car, but it's the Evo model. So it is a 2019 model, but it isn't quite as competitive as I think a lot of people would like it to be. But he is he's just actually been bumped down out of the top 10 now, but we'll see if he can get into the top 10 because he's only half a tenth off that top 10 spot. And as I said, there's plenty of drivers within that sort of half a second window, I would say, from 7th, Jan Frest in 7th, all the way down to Notari in 17th. So 10 drivers all split by half a second at the moment. Let's see if Chiesa can get himself up into the top 10. He can't at the moment because this man was the man to bump him down here. It is Alessandro Porta in the Aston Martin as well. He has put himself up into P6 at the moment.
Trifiglio 13, so looks like the track is starting to go it's starting to improve for the last part of the session, and that's now when the people is starting to earn their paycheck. Let's remember the temps that are scorching hot because we got 36 degrees at the air and 42 degrees at the track. So tires will be put at
extreme risk.
Yeah,
I would like to say. Yeah, I think they're going to get really all chewed up, to be honest with you, because the 42 degree track temperature is not going to do anyone any favours if they're going to want to look after tyres. Remember, this is an hour and a 45-minute race, so they've got to get at least 2 sets of tyres that length. Whether they want to pit more than once, I feel like it'd probably lose them too much time. As Porter actually now, even with that dip on the gravel, has managed to go up into P4 now, only 7 tenths away from Puzzarini. His time at the moment has been untouchable for pole position, but we'll see if, like you say, the track ramps up and gets a bit faster as the last 4 minutes wind down, and we'll see if anyone can improve any further. But we've also had Jan Frest go up into the top 10. He's in P7. He's back out on track now. I saw him reset to the pits and get a fresh set of boots on to see if he can go any faster, but he's managed to hustle his Ferrari into P7. We'll have a little rundown outside the top 10. So just outside now looks to be, so we've got Amato. He's in the pit lane at the moment. We've got
nice job by Notari, 10th.
Yes, Notari 10th. Yep. Amato is 11th at the moment. P12 is Monaco. He's also in the Ferrari.
A bit disappointing, Semeraro. I was expecting a bit better. Maybe he had a bad qualifying.
So yeah, he's just behind Angelo at the moment.
One interesting thing that we didn't explain it is that tonight race will be 25 drivers because we got a driver that has Arnetti, I think it's the name, that has forfeited the championship, so it's quite likely that for the next race we will have again a 26 grid, because it will be subbed by another driver, because we have already some requests. So even if the championship will be out of question for the newcomer, but we would like to have a full grid. So just for tonight, 25 drivers, but next time we should be at full grid again.
Unless whoever's driving the safety car wants to go and have a race in that McLaren, then yes, we will be 25 drivers instead of the safety car pounding around as well. Although he will do one lap for us, and that'll be at the very beginning of the race. So to start the drivers off. Yes, we are only 1.5 minutes just over left of qualifying, and it's looking like at the moment the track hasn't ramped up as much as I thought. It looks like now, though, we've got a bit of a change at the top, because Luca Lozio has now put it on provisional pole with, as I say, 1.5 minutes left to go. On his very last lap, he managed to do a 43.6. Oh, sorry, no, his last lap was a 1:45. His best lap is obviously the 43.6.
Nice, also third place.
Yeah, Dondi's also improved into third, which Montalbano's still there. Oh, and Lozio's actually gone off into the wall there, but I think he's probably resetting his car to the pit lane. We'll see now here, Montalbano. We'll see if he can improve any further. He's not far off that P3 of Dondi, but he is a little bit further away from the front row. But we'll see what he can do in his blue and yellow, lovely looking Porsche actually. I do like the colour scheme he's got going on that, but he's going to start one final lap.
Let's not forget also Porta, because it's our leader in the drivers' championship. So he got a second until now from the first from Lozio, but seems he is able to stay in the front runners to keep it up the contention.
Yeah, definitely one to keep an eye on. So we do believe that Luca Lozio will have a penalty then, no? From the front row of the grid?
No, because I have I have to correct myself. I made a mistake. I remember from the first commentary. I mistakenly said in the first commentary that the qualify for this championship it's in hardcore mode, so drivers didn't have the chance to press ESC to get into the pits and coming out. This was not correct. Drivers can stop the car clearly in a safe spot of the track, teleport to the pits and starting again. So no penalties for drivers that actually are resorting to the usual way for the sim drivers to qualify. So lap, then ask to not to lose time to try to get in and get out.
Yeah, understood what you mean. So it looks like our two front runners at the moment on the front row of the grid are actually in pit lane, as are a few other drivers as well. So their qualifying is over.
It's in the pits, so for him it's over. Dondi is slapping, Montalbano is on the track, and also Porta. So everything seems open.
Currently watching Montalbano actually coming through the final corner. I'm not sure if he's up on his lap time. He's probably getting a little bit of slipstream from the Aston Martin ahead, and he does go P3 with a fantastic lap to get ahead of Dondi by over a tenth actually, just about. So he will stop. We'll see if Dondi has any reply. He's coming. He's in the final sector now.
It's at the Bank Sabadell. Let's see if he can make it. The chicane.
He lights the rear tyres up a little bit in the first section of the last chicane, and he gets off the final corner well. He's through the final corner now, sorry. He gets off the final chicane well. Let's see if he can improve again. No, he can't, and actually Capoccia has actually stolen away P4 as well. For good measure, Capoccia up into P4 now as well, just finishing a lap.
Good effort by anybody. We got Porta, but it's just came back in the pits. Carturan again, so I think qualified's over, yes.
Yeah, that does look like qualifying is over. I'll try and get the timetable up, if at all possible, which it isn't letting me at the moment, so we'll try and get the full grid order for you.
Nice time, 1:43.6 for Luca Lozio. It's something, definitely.
We'll try and get the timings up if we can, which I don't believe I can at the moment. We'll do that.
People in chat are complaining about the missing Hondas. No Hondas here. It's
unfortunately, no NSXs. It doesn't feel like a competitive car whenever I've driven it. myself. So that'll be probably why there's not many at all. But we do have a fairly varied grid, but although it is 3 Porsches that qualify on the front 2 rows of the grid, followed by 2 Ferraris, and then the Astons and Mercedes, and a bit more variation from there on out. But the Lamborghini of Chiesa dropping down to 16th as well. But as you can see there from the timings, Luca Lozio on pole at the moment. And he will start there with a 1:43.638, followed by Puzzarini with a, well, it was nearly 2 tenths off actually. Then Montalbano.
Yep.
Capoccia. And then
Dondi, Porta, De Biasio, Gianfrest, and Semeraro. Tozzato closed the top 10 with a nice time, I'd say, but not enough to stay among the best, because we can clearly see that the first 5 drivers have something in their pocket that the mid-pack clearly hasn't found yet.
There we go. So I've given everyone on the stream so they can have a look at the times and the splits and everything, which looks to be fine. And there is the safety car at the end. So we will leave qualifying there for the moment, and we'll allow the stewards to reset all of the grid and whatnot for the race. And we'll be back after the short advert break in just a minute.
Quixa presenta?
Un razzo interplanetario?
No, non esageriamo.
Una polizza assicurativa?
Banale, non solo.
Un'offerta esclusiva?
Quasi, ma non proprio.
Un nuovo prodotto smart e innovativo?
Risposta esatta. È Quixa Smart, una linea di soluzioni innovative di Quixa, la compagnia 100% digitale di AXA Italia. Perché ci sono situazioni in cui non hai bisogno solo di una polizza, ma di servizi semplici e concreti per vivere con più tranquillità. Prodotti smart con un'offerta smart. Un mese gratis e disdicibile disdici quando vuoi. Ma capiamo meglio di cosa si tratta. Tra le soluzioni proposte da Quixa Smart c'è salute. Hai un medico o un pediatra a tua disposizione anche in videochiamata o direttamente a casa tua. E quando non puoi uscire, pensiamo noi a mandare la ricetta in farmacia e a portarti le medicine a casa. Inoltre, puoi richiedere l'assistenza di un'infermiera, di una collaboratrice domestica, di un babysitter, di un dog sitter, di un fisioterapista e di un autista. Tra le soluzioni Quixa Smart c'è anche sicurezza digitale, per stare tranquillo quando navighi su internet e quando fai degli acquisti online, ma anche una difesa concreta contro il cyberbullismo per tutti i membri della tua famiglia. E poi c'è anche Quixa Smart Casa, per vivere con tranquillità gli imprevisti legati alla casa. Hai bisogno ad esempio di un idraulico, di un elettricista o di un altro artigiano? Con Quixa Smart Casa hai un esperto a casa tua, disponibile 24 ore su 24 tutti i giorni dell'anno. Quixa Smart, l'innovazione digitale in tasca. Un mese gratis e disdici quando vuoi.
Scusa, a quando il razzo interplanetario?
GT3 Racing, Scuderia Ferrari Edition, the heart of the race.
Quixa presenta?
Un razzo interplanetario?
No, non esageriamo.
Una polizza assicurativa?
Banale, non solo.
Un'offerta esclusiva?
Quasi, ma non proprio.
Un nuovo prodotto smart e innovativo?
Risposta esatta. È Quixa Smart, una linea di soluzioni innovative di Quixa, la compagnia 100% digitale di AXA Italia. Perché ci sono situazioni in cui non hai bisogno solo di una polizza, ma di servizi semplici e concreti per vivere con più tranquillità. Prodotti smart con un'offerta smart. Un mese gratis e disdici quando vuoi. Ma capiamo meglio di cosa si tratta. Tra le soluzioni proposte da Quixa Smart c'è salute. Hai un medico o un pediatra a tua disposizione anche in videochiamata o direttamente a casa tua. E quando non puoi uscire, pensiamo noi a mandare la ricetta in farmacia e a portarti le medicine a casa. Inoltre, puoi richiedere l'assistenza di un'infermiera, di una collaboratrice domestica, di un babysitter, di un dog sitter, di un fisioterapista e di un autista. Tra le soluzioni Quixa Smart c'è anche sicurezza digitale, per stare tranquillo quando navighi su internet e quando fai degli acquisti online, ma anche una difesa concreta contro il cyberbullismo per tutti i membri della tua famiglia. E poi c'è anche Quixa Smart Casa, per vivere con tranquillità gli imprevisti legati alla casa. Hai bisogno ad esempio di un idraulico, di un elettricista o di un altro artigiano? Con Quixa Smart Casa hai un esperto a casa tua, disponibile 24 ore su 24 tutti i giorni dell'anno. Quixa Smart, l'innovazione digitale in tasca. Un mese gratis e disdici quando vuoi.
Scusa, a quando il razzo interplanetario?
So, welcome back, everybody. We are almost ready for the start of the race for round 2 of the esports series.net GT3 League 2020. We're here at Barcelona. We've just had qualifying. We're currently in a free practice session at the moment whilst the drivers just get their final tweaks to the setup done, ready for the long race, which is 1 hour and 45 minutes as the checkered flag falls on free practice. We've got some interesting information though for you, which is the track temp. So not only have the clouds cleared a little bit, it's now classed as sunny conditions. The track temperature is 50 degrees Celsius. You heard that right, that is 50 degrees Celsius.
50 degrees.
So, and the air temp is 38 degrees Celsius. So very, very hot conditions. The drivers are going to have to really manage their tyres. I believe me and Amato, whilst Amato's going around right now in the Ferrari, he's looking like he's kind of he's a bit on the limit. He's looking like he's struggling for tyres, but me and Matteo were actually discussing sort of tyre info and whatnot in the little break we had, and we think it may even be a two-stopper.
Yeah. I think that the big question mark about this race will be the condition of the front left tire, because we know that Barcelona is the classic clockwise
circuit, yeah.
Puts strain clearly on the front left, rear left, but more importantly the front left, because turn 3 in Barcelona it's absolutely punishing. Also, I think for tires built to last, especially built to last, like the ones of the these GT3 fields. So I don't think that we can write off the two stopper for this race.
Definitely, because as you say, turn 3 being the major one, but you've also got turn 1, very high speed, the final corner, also very high speed, all leaning on that left front tyre, and also turn 4 as well. So not only you've got turn 1 pretty much immediately followed by turn 3 after the flick left, and then turn 4, all leaning on that front left. So the first sector very punishing. Then you've got a bit of a lull for that corner of the car, and then you've got the horrible off camber uphill turn 9.
I hate it.
Which is a very difficult corner, especially if you're too wide. If someone's making a move through there because they've had a scruffy exit from 7 and 8, then it could well be curtains if you end up going down the inside into turn 9. But turn 10 is definitely a passing opportunity into the heavy braking zone, into the tight left, and then it is very much follow the leader through the final few corners, I would say, other than if someone decides to throw one down the inside in the very slow last couple of corners, but risking damage to the car whilst doing that. So it's going to be a battle of attrition, I think, for the drivers, because they've not only got to focus on tyres, they've got to focus on, I would say, track position, because following cars around here doesn't help either, especially through them fast long corners. The dirty air and obviously the toe can help you, but the dirty air mid corner can obviously hamper you. So massive challenge for the drivers today. It is 3:03 PM in the afternoon in game, and the track temp has fell only 1 degree. It is now 49 degrees track temperature, so we'll keep an eye on that as the safety car heads
no room
away.
for luxury, I would say.
So we've got 3 Porsches on the front row of the grid. As we heard, Luca Lozio with the front pole position Porsche, followed by Puzzarini and Montalbano, who managed to get himself up into P3. Yes, P3. That was correct, because the safety car is
safety car it's second.
Capoccia is the first of the non-Porsches, which is the Ferrari. It's the number 494 car, white and black with hints of red livery, with nice little red wingtips, and he nearly actually ran into the back of Montalbano there. He's going to have to be careful heating his tyres that much, because I think the drivers don't want to be heating the tyres too much, but they don't want to be letting them go stone cold either, because they will get attacked on the early laps with everyone being so close together. Then got Francesco Dondi, who was definitely one to watch in that Ferrari as well. Followed by Porta, De Basio in P8, Jean Frest in P9, and rounding out the top 10 is Semeraro in the sister car to what looks like Capoccia. It looks like the same team,
Yes.
I would think.
GTVR.
That's the one. And then we've got Mercedes, the silver Mercedes. Remind me how to pronounce his name.
Tozzato?
Tozzato.
No, sorry. Yes, Tozzato. Luca Tozzato.
That's the one. He's in P11, I think. No, yes, P11 he'll start. P12,
Moretti, Carturan,
Carturan,
Amato,
Monaco,
and then your nightmare.
Chiesa. Yes, got it right this time. In the Lamborghini, the lone Lamborghini. Let's see what he can do in that. Followed by Davide Lozio.
Steady. Angelo Trifiglio, just 20th position.
Although he has
Not so
seemed
nice.
to have lined up at the back of the grid for some reason, and I'm not sure why. I'll have to check that, but
We've got Gagliardini in last place, I think.
yeah, for some reason Angelo was showing at the very back of the field. I'm not sure why.
Yeah,
It
yeah,
looks
it's
to have
true.
done, but we'll jump back up to the front runners.
Maybe
Now.
he has some problem with the plug, but the rest is starting.
It is. Luca Lozio has led the field away across the start-finish line. Single file start, and they are all away nice and cleanly. We'll see if they all get through turn 1 cleanly or not. And it looks to be plain sailing for the
something happened
Porsches.
between Dondi and Porta.
Yes, definitely. Yeah, you can see the Aston Martin of Porter actually rejoining after turn 2, and he's lost the position to Dondi. Dondi up into P5. Is he going to come under threat into turn 4? No, he isn't. He's remaining the same positions. Bazio having a good start up into P7. It looks like we've lost someone from the front running order. I'm trying to figure out who it was who's dropped down a few positions. Try and figure that one out. Try to spot who it could be. I'm really not sure, but it does look like Angelo started at the back of the field for some reason.
I think that maybe he had some issues in entering in being put on the grid for the starting procedure with the safety car, and because I think I saw him teleported at the start of the procedure at the pits, and he had to leave the entire field to starting and then getting on the back of the field itself. In the meantime, some battle between Rosmarino, Rotundo, and Colombo.
Have a flick back and run through the order because Luca Lozio does still lead, followed by the two other Porsches, and then Capoccia, and then it's the big gap to Dondi after the incident on lap 1. We'll have a flick back to 12th place where Carturan is in a gaggle of cars here. There's a massive train, everyone single file down the start finish straight. Got a hard charging pack here with the Mercedes of, I think it was silver Mercedes. Yes, it was. He was nearly into the back of the Ferrari, and that's left him vulnerable now to Moretti in the red and black Aston Martin. As you can see, he's all over the back of him now. We'll see if he can get the run on him. Quickly on board and see if he can get down the inside, which he can't. Has got another Aston Martin of Carturan right behind him though. A good start from everyone. What looked to be nice and clean, other than that small incident.
Yeah, but looks like that at the start something happened. I saw the drivers coming on the main straight without battling too much between them. So I think that maybe Dondi or Porta lost the exact moment when the guy in front of them has accelerated for the restart, and this created a rift of 2 seconds between the 4th place and the group of the 5th, the 6th, the 7th, and the 8th.
We've just actually had a bit of contact there for the Mercedes with Moretti. They look to be going 3 wide into the turn 10, and Moretti actually got it all wrong and got into the side of the Mercedes and turned him round. So that would have been I think, where would it be? He hasn't actually updated my timing screen yet, but it looks like
it was Tozzato, maybe.
Yes, it looks like Tozzato has dropped down the order now. He's going to go tumbling down. He's rejoined behind the Lamborghini
15th
of
position.
Chiesa. So he's actually lost 5 positions with that there. So not good for the Jean Alesi Esports driver.
In the meantime, we got Dondi chased by Porta quite from behind.
Actually got a good battle going on here as well, with Tozzato actually trying to hang on for dear life. He was actually thinking...
Dondi and Porta, absolutely side by side.
Indeed they are. We're on board now. Oh, and there's contact! Contact!
Ooh.
And Porter, to be fair, looked to be nowhere to go, and Dondi is in the wall, I would think. Yes, he is. He's just about getting out of the gravel trap now. Be careful on the rejoin, and he's going to actually rejoin.
Championship.
Yeah, that is very important for the championship indeed. He's going to drop down to, I think that's going to be round about 15th or 16th place, and he's got company of the Aston Martin, which looks to be, I would think that'd probably be Bilancini, I think, in 17th. So it looks like he's recovered and gone into 17th position. But to be fair, I feel like Porter then didn't really have a lot of space on the right-hand side of the track, and there looked to be contact. But yes, we'll see what comes of that later on. I'm sure it'll be looked at by the stewards and whatnot. And Dondi is really fighting the car hard now to try and not get passed by... it's actually DeSantis in the Aston Martin, not Bilancini. Bilancini is actually ahead. Who's actually just having a little go at... oh, there's contact again. More contact.
Oh my god.
Yes, I saw it in the corner of my screen. Don't rejoin there. Keep the Aston where it is. And he's had to rejoin and wait for everyone to go past as Bilancini. It looked like he went for a move on Davide Lozio, and them two both tumble down the order. Unfortunately for them, it looks like Lozio has got going way before that.
Lozio with Rosmarino. With Rosmarino. Careful.
He has.
Marino on the outside. Nice overtake.
Yeah, the Nissan's got the
and
job done.
Trefilio's coming also.
Yes, and there looks to be another Aston Martin, Trefilio's teammate in the background going off, which will have been, I think, Gagliardini. Yes, and we're 3 wide into this corner here, into turn 5. It looks like Dondi involved again. Massive scrap of positions here. Not good for Dondi at all. He's down in 17th position. He's lost plenty of time, and there's nearly contact again with the Nissan this time. Trying around the outside, and there's contact there for the Ferrari and the Porsche and the Aston Martin, and everyone has got up in each other, and they've all going to have substantial damage, I would think, from that. But Dondi, I don't know whether Dondi touched the Ferrari or the Ferrari lost it on his own. The red Ferrari of, I believe that must have been, let's have a quick look.
Dondi car, it's absolutely impossible to wrestle. I think he has bad damage to the aero of the whole car.
Does look like
it's having issues.
Yeah, it looks like
severe issues.
It looks like it might have been Vlad Colombo. Yeah, it was Colombo who was involved in that there. So the 131 Ferrari also involved. It looked like Trefilio as well, and was obviously involved in that.
Again, in last position, sadly for him.
He's back in last position where he started because of the issues at the very beginning, which is a shame for him. But the battle from I would say 16th or 17th downwards looked to be absolutely crazy. But we've got a move here from the Nissan, who's attacking DeSantis in the Aston Martin, and the Nissan's got to go all the way around the outside at turn 1, and he does indeed get the job done. You know, he gets it stopped, but he's going to come under threat again now through turn 3. Is he going to be able to hold position into turn 4? The Aston's actually going to try the up and under, and he's alongside him by the looks of it into turn 4. He's going to have the inside line. Will the Nissan try and hang it around the outside again? I don't think he's going to be able to, because the Aston does squeeze him out wide, but he's still there, you know, and he does have to slot back in behind.
I don't know where to look. Oh, Dondi spun again.
Dondi spun again.
Right-hander, car is completely undrivable. I think he has a big issue now because I think he must continue to fulfill at least the chance to reach the end of the race. But if he stops now, it's likely to do one stop more that he has top. But it's last now. He has the car badly damaged, so I think he has no other choice. In the meantime, in the front we got Puzzarini really close to Lozio.
Yes, we have. He's only 3/10 apart. We've got battles here, there, and everywhere here at
Also, De Biasio and
Barcelona.
Porta.
Yeah, Corturan as well is also close. We'll have a quick look at that one. He's going to have the run on, I believe it's Moretti. He's going to have the run down the start-finish straight. And we're going to go on Helicam and have a look at that so we can see some other battles as well. Looks like Amato just behind this in 11th, battling with Monaco as well in the other Ferrari. And Corturan is actually going to go for the move into turn 1. Is there going to be contact here? I don't think so. There is just a little bit of a door tap, but nothing wrong there. Looks like he's going to hold the position and does.
Paint trading.
Bit of paint trading, as you say. But this is a brilliant race so far, and we'll check in with the leaders, as you say, because we've got Luca Lozio coming on the exit of turn 5 now, and he's got the mirror full of Puzzarini in the fellow Porsche. They may be in the same car, but they are not going to give an inch to each other. With Montalbano a little bit further adrift, but not too bad. But the top 4...
De Blasio, Porta, Gianfrest and Semeraro are against.
Yes, we've gone to that battle right now. And
they're exchanging blows.
Very, very close. Porta gets through, though, on Gianfrest by the looks of it. He's taken the position, or he's actually defended his position.
Dondi in the pits is coming in.
Big championship moment, really, for Dondi.
Yeah.
It's not gone well for him. As you say, he's coming down pit lane right now, and he's looking very, very damaged indeed.
Let's see if he decides to repair or to give up.
It is a long race, so you never know what can happen, but he has lost an awful amount of time to the other cars.
Nice group here between Porta, Gianfrest, De Biasio. Capoccia, it's alone, following Montalbano alone also himself. So for now we got the battle for the 4th, 7th, 8th and 9th place ongoing.
Very much so, and obviously the battle for the lead. We've got Puzzarini all over the gearbox of Luca Lozio. He's only 1 car length back, and he's having a look. He jinks to the inside, but that's just to try and put Luca off, and he does hit his marks, does Luca. He doesn't run wide at all, and he's managing to hold station at the moment. But if you remember, we saw this last week at Silverstone, last time out. We had Luca Lozio leading the race. He got past, and then, well, actually, he was hounding the leader for so long. He then got frustrated with being sat behind him, went for the move and got it wrong. So roles reversed a little bit this time, where he's the defending driver rather than the attacker. But he's doing well at the moment, 6 laps in with Puzzarini this close to him. He's only 2/10 back, and he's going to be filling the mirrors in every corner. So very, very interesting to see how he deals with this pressure.
Let's see if Lozio can learn from his past mistakes, because in such kind of championships, when everything can happen in a short span of races, every single point counts. So better not to risk much and give your opponent a little bit more of space than fighting until the end and losing both position or getting penalties.
Exactly, it's that mentality of living to fight another day. If Puzzarini passes him right now, it doesn't matter too much, because there's still 1 hour and a half left.
Gianfrest and Porta. Let's see. Something happened at the chicane.
Yes, Gianfrest is backwards. We've missed that, but Gianfrest is backwards. It looks to be like Porta may have tagged him then, possibly.
Yeah, I saw at the breaking point that something happened. Carturan also on Semeraro.
Gianfrest goes tumbling down.
They got again.
More contact.
Oh, bad position for Carturan. Absolutely bad position. It stopped in the middle of the track and waiting for everybody to pass. He get with.
He does get going.
Yeah, he get the middle of the corner. They were sliding in unison, but Carturan got the worst.
There is absolute carnage happening here at Barcelona today. Carturan drops from 8th to 18th now. 10 positions lost for the Aston Martin driver. And he's already going to try and get back on the offensive, get up the inside of the Porsche of Rotundo, but nothing doing there. So it looks to be like Jean-Fres now back up in 14th. I don't know whether you want to have a little look at the replay possibly and find out what happened and who had contact, but it sounded like potentially Porter. Before I could switch camera, we only saw him backwards in the final chicane.
I saw it in the last part of the accident at the breaking point of the chicane. He got pushed on the back, and he was already turning, and he immediately spun out of the track. So everybody passed him, and he waited an awful lot of time, leaving everybody to pass. So kudos to him for the fair race and the attention in not getting anyone other involved in the crash in rejoining the track.
It's always one thing. Drivers want to get back going again as soon as possible. Puzzarini, where is he? He is up in second, isn't he? All the way behind Luca Lozio and nothing doing into turn 4. But will he try and go into turn 5? He's struggling at the moment. We've actually got Dundee. He's going to become a back marker. He has continued going, which is good on him, as he should. Every point counts, as you said earlier on, but a little bit wide from Puzzarini. Has lost him a bit of time there. But he does seem to have regained control of the car. If anything, Montalbano is the one to watch at the moment. He's actually flying up to the back of these two. He was about 2.5 seconds back, and he's closed that to 1.2 now. So we'll see what Luca Lozio does navigating past the Ferrari of Dundee. He's going to be getting the blue flag shortly as Dundee, so he'll have to get out of it and let the leaders pass. But it'll be very interesting to see if he can then hang with the front three, because the front three have made this breakaway from the rest of the field. Capoccia being the man in P4, De Basio P5, and Porter still in P6, but I would imagine he'll probably be under investigation for some form of incident, because he had the incident with Dundee, as we saw, into turn 5. I don't feel like that was probably on Porter, though, because he was all the way on the extremities of the track, all the way on the right. But the other incident we saw just now was Jean-Fres, well, just missed with Jean-Fres. We'll have to see what comes of that as well.
I think that Lozio is about to lap Dundee.
Yes, he is, yeah, I'm on board with that right now. And he's coming through turn 2 and into 3. Is he going to get the blue flag shortly? Because this is going to be hampering Lozio, and he's not going to be happy. And he can also probably see Montalbano closing up. He's now within a second of these two at the front.
In chat, the audience is suggesting that maybe Lozio could soon start having issues in the tires management, because it's working too much the wheel. Let's see.
Yeah, we can definitely keep an eye on that.
If our expert audience
will
be
audience. Right, we can definitely do with a hand from the audience in any department. If they know what's going on more than we, definitely pass the information over so we can talk about it on the stream. Definitely.
They actually asking if we can put an onboard of Lozio to see how he's managing the corners and the steering wheel in particular.
Yeah, we can do that. Yeah, I was on board with him just a second ago to see how he managed getting past Dundee, who has actually now moved out of the way. He's pulled off to the right-hand side and got back going again. So he's slotted in behind these, but we'll take a lap with Dundee. It looks like he's turning the wheel quite hard in the slow speed corners, but we'll take an on-board lap with him. Across the start-finish line now. You won't really be able to tell much, obviously, in the straight line, but through this next sequence of corners, you should be able to see the driver on the left-hand side of your screen working the wheel. Let's see how hard he is working the tyres. Interesting that the chat is picking up on those kind of intricacies, to be honest. That kind of information. Hard to find the detail. And it looks like he's doing okay at the moment. He's hitting his marks and lines so far. Obviously, he's been keeping Puzzarini behind him for 10 laps or so now. So he doesn't seem to have cracked under pressure yet. But it's a long race. An hour and 26 minutes with a driver this close behind you is pressure. So
In the meantime, seems that the next big thing regarding the battles could be the one between Porta and De Biasio. Porta,
yes.
it's really close, but doesn't seem to have the grunt. Is Aston Martin for now doesn't seem to have the grunt to pass the Mercedes.
Quick look at that one. But actually, to be fair, Puzzarini's awfully close here in the slow speed section of turn 10 into 11 and 12 we go. And he's very close indeed. I'm thinking the chat is probably right, you know. Ozio could well be struggling. We are 20 minutes into this race now. So let's see. Let's just hang with this lead battle and just see. Actually, Puzzarini has just made a mistake there in the final chicane, and it's give Ozio a little bit of breathing room. If anything, Montalbano is the big gainer in this. He's going to gain even more slipstream. He's now within half a second of Puzzarini, so Montalbano one to watch, but we'll quickly jump back to the battle, as you said, with Porter, who looks to be alongside the Mercedes. Coming out of the chicane, we've just gone to that. He looked to have made a move in the chicane, trying to get past De Biasio. But De Biasio having an excellent race here in P5 at the moment, and he's defended his position from Alessandro Porter for the meantime. But this battle is 13.5 seconds behind Capoccia, who is kind of in no man's land. Capoccia is 13.5 seconds ahead of these battle for P5 and 6, and he is another 5.5 behind the front runners. So going well. Capoccia is going to pick up some good points from this.
At this point of the race, I think that we could start to speculate. Porta and De Biasio. Porta and De Biasio.
He's gone for the switchback, and he's on the grass on the inside, and he's somehow not made contact with the Mercedes. I think the Mercedes, he's probably going to get him back though, no? Oh, and big cut across the front from Porter. That Great is overtake. Very aggressive, but it's worked for him. He's now ahead of the Mercedes, but he tried to sell him the dummy by the looks of it.
Yeah, I was saying the same thing. He threw at the dummy, but he go for the inside.
De Biasio, very respectful though to let him have that little bit of space. Although he used a bit of the grass and a bit of the curb, and he did give De Biasio a little bit of a tap on the way through. It was, I would say, on the limit, but it was a fair move from Porter. So up into P5. Let's see if he can now pull away from the Mercedes. Looks like the Aston's, like you say, probably got the traction and the slow corner speed, but as for the grunt down the straight, I would say the Mercedes is going to be there at the top of the speed traps as well. I would think down into turn 1, but looks like the Mercedes isn't close enough for a move yet. But we'll just hang fire and see if he does get any kind of slipstream into turn 1. Doesn't look like he has, so he mustn't have had a very good exit from the final corner.
I think until now, let's say we've got 1 race and a half. Not even a half race behind us, but Porta overtake has been one of the best that we saw during this competition. Kudos to him for the let's say attributes in going so well on the inside, but also good work from De Biasio in fighting until the end, but leaving just enough space not to crash into each other.
Yeah, very, very on the limit. We've got battles all throughout the field, to be honest, still. Starting to spread out.
Puzzarini on Lozio.
He has. He's got the job done. We've missed it. We've missed the move for the lead. Going through all the other battles as well. There's that much going on. We cannot keep up to speed with everything, but Luca Lozio has now lost the lead. Did you see where it was?
It was at the braking point, going on the left-hander for the 2 right-handers leading to the chicane. He attacked. He has the inside, and he passed. Lozio didn't put up much of the opposition, so I think that it was an overtake that Puzzarini has begun to build in the previous a short straight leading that part of the track. And you see, again, Lozio is losing position. Now he's about to attack from Montalbano. Seems that Lozio's tires is about to give up.
Yeah, so Puzzarini, not even half a lap through in the lead of the race, has already pulled over a 1 second lead now. And Montalbano, as you say, is attacking Luca Lozio, who is looking like he's struggling for grip, especially through turn 3 then. He was scrambling around for grip mid-corner, and Montalbano had the run on him, but just couldn't find the way around the outside. So Montalbano's been sat there nice and patient for the first sort of 13 laps, and is definitely one to watch on his tyres, because he may even have better tyre life than Puzzarini, to be honest with you.
This drop in the performance of Logio reminds me of what happened in the first race. You remember, all of a sudden he started to lose performance and losing position. So it seems that maybe he has a driving style that asks too much to the tires compared to the one of his opponents.
Definitely, yeah.
Because you see, Puzzarini has already took 1 second in in 1 lap and a half, and Montalbano seems on his way to attack him as well.
Just trying to get the cameras back working again.
Maybe you can get the replay lifetime of the overtake.
Possibly
between
could.
Puzzarini and Lozio would be nice.
Just trying to get the camera angles back because the direct has crashed. So just after 1 minute. Yeah.
In the meantime, the situation seems well defined. We didn't have too much cars close each other. Not much of a fight for now, except for Montalbano that maybe has decided to pull a bit over against Lozio in a bit to preserve the tires.
Try and see the move here. So we're just going to show the move from Puzzarini, who managed to get up the inside. Looks to be into turn 10. He does. Lozio defends actually. This is going to be a brilliant move if Puzzarini can get that done. No, yeah, Lozio defended, went deep, and actually lost the position on the exit. So, great bit of driving from Puzzarini to read the situation. Lozio defends, goes a little bit deep into the corner, and gets the cutback, and good exit from the corner. So, that's how Puzzarini got up into the lead of this race.
Nice overtake.
Very nice overtake indeed, yeah.
Very clean.
So, just trying to get, not sure why, but I can't get the director to relaunch properly. It's not connecting to the server, which I will try and do in a second.
In the meantime, I spoke too early because something happened between Amato and Semeraro. They are now closer each other, and Monaco, Gianni Monaco.
Let's see where. Quickly flick back through the field, get to that battle so you can see it on track whilst I try and sort out these camera angles. I don't know why the director thing has crashed, but it has.
Rosmarino 14th in the only Nissan GTR. Trifiglio has been able to get rid of Vladi Colombo and Chiesa, and also has climbed back in the 7th position. Not bad for him also, considering that he started. He had to rebuild completely from the start after the accident in the first lap of the races. But I think that Angelo is pissed behind himself because of what happened. I think quite for sure about some technical problem in the grid procedure. we'll see. We will discover after the race, I think.
So what I will have to do is quickly flick the stream over to this, because I need to actually leave the race and rejoin.
In the meantime, Montalbano, it's duly following Losio. I think that actually everyone is in tire preservation mode.
Yeah, tyres will definitely be one of
Key.
those things that need to be looked after, especially as we talked about this track being so hot and so punishing on the left front. People are going to be surely thinking about pitting reasonably early, I would think.
Losio got quite an oversteer exiting from the. I didn't understand which corner. Now they are coming down to the infamous turn 9. There it is. Since that Losio car is moving a bit compared to Montalbano's one. Also, we are reaching the point of the race when everybody will have to show what they got in hand about the strategy, because it's half an hour time of the race. So at two stopper we think that two stopper could be in the 40 minutes more or less. So if everybody if someone it's thinking to do a two stopper, it's about to stop soon, while the one stopper should continue at least for other 20 minutes.
Yeah, so we are back with the live footage now. We actually joined, and Angelo Trafilio was all over the back of DeSantis in the Aston Martin ahead of him. So may as well stick with this battle for the moment. Angelo's managed to make himself up into 17th now from being last and then working his way through the field and then going back to last position again. He's now back
Montalbano, Losio, watch it.
We'll go back to the battle here for second place. Obviously, this is where the big points are. And Puzzarini, wow, has now pulled out a 3-second lead from these guys. So Puzzarini biding his time nicely in second place for a long time, then puts the move on Luca Losio and manages to pull a nice gap now. So that is some big time to be found from Losio now. And he's got Montalbano for company, as we said. Capoccia in P4 has dropped back a little bit. He's now down to 8.6 away from this battle. So the lead three are looking like in a class of their own at the moment, the three Porsches. And also a bit of a shout out as well to Colombo in P12 in the other Porsche. He's managed to work himself up from, I think he actually may have even been outside the top 20 in qualifying.
It's behind Moretti right now.
Yes, so he's quite close behind Moretti as well, and Moretti is not far behind the Mercedes of Assetto as well. So, got battles left, right and centre. Monaco also attacking Semeraro as well. And Amato as well on De Bazio. We're going to quickly jump to that one as well, because that's into turn 10. Actually, no, we've seen that move not complete, but the Porsche having a look of Colombo. Try and get into this top 10. He's got two drivers ahead of him to try and do that. So keep an eye on that for you. Trying to keep an eye on these gaps left, right and centre isn't half difficult, is it?
Puzzarini, it's absolutely pulling off the pack, and it's driving beautiful in my opinion. It would be interesting to ask to Luca if in this particular situation he has the same performance degradation he has the last time during the first race, because it's absolutely blistering in the first part of the race. Then seems that his tires has a more complicated second part of their life. It's the only one in the front that it starts losing so much in the in the second part of this first stint. De Biasio Amato in the meantime. Looks we got something.
Let me find where that is.
6th and 7th position.
6th and 7th. We do have to have like a little scroll through each time to try and find each driver, so you do have to bear with us to get you the action for you watching in the chat. But yeah, the Mercedes looking like he's having to defend here from Amato in the blue Ferrari, and Bazio defends the inside into turn 10. Will the Ferrari try and do the up and under like Puzzarini did to Lozio? And there's actually contact on the exit. The Ferrari getting awfully close to the back of the Mercedes, and again through turn 12 as well. He's all over the back of him, but nothing doing of it at the moment. He's not managed to get the move done. But Amato wanting that P6, and he tries to send it down the inside. That's put the Mercedes wide now. Is the Ferrari going to get the exit now? They're going to be side by side through the final corner. The Mercedes comes across and there's contact again. The Mercedes is going to... Oh, he's just going to have to be careful now. And he's rejoined eventually behind the following silver Mercedes. But another move coming here from, I think it's Moretti.
Also, we got Monaco and Semeraro on the breaking point.
Yes, there we go. Got that on screen, and Monaco looking like he's kept the position. No. Yes, he's kept the same position he was in, which was 8th. Semeraro up to 7th now. Amato up to 6th, and I feel like the Mercedes didn't quite see him on the inside. I'm assuming so, because he came across, did De Bazio. He wasn't quite far enough ahead, and almost turned himself around with that issue. And it looks like he's actually... further down the order than I thought, actually. Now is... where has he gone? So the Mercedes... Where's the Mercedes gone?
I can find just 9th place, could be.
It isn't 9th, because that's the silver Mercedes.
Yeah, I think he lost just 2 places. Yes. For
no, it was the red and black Mercedes of De Bazio. Where's De Bazio gone? Is he disconnected?
Yeah, you're right. Can't see him.
Yeah, De Bazio has had some form of issue where he's no longer with us for some strange reason. I know he rejoined behind Pazzato and ahead of Moretti and Colombo when he rejoined.
Maybe let's
Speaking
wait for the
of
tower
Moretti,
to...
he's just made a mistake. As Moretti, he went deep into the first part of the chicane, which this is why Colombo is so close in the Porsche now. This is for him to break into the top 10 now, Colombo. So we were talking about how good of a run he was having in the Porsche. Obviously the front 3 running Porsche is doing very well indeed. And this to put him in the top 10, which looks to have now updated, and he is in the top 10. No, sorry, yes, he is still 11th. Still 11th for Colombo, but he's going to have a look now into turn 3, if he can get the up and under on the Aston Martin.
Moretti, Colombo and Moretti.
Having a look is Colombo. Nothing doing again into turn 4.
Luca Colombo, because we have also Vladi Colombo in 17th position.
Yes, that's right. We've also got here now a 5.5 second lead for Puzzarini, and Montalbano only 1/10 away from Luca Lozio. They're in the final sector, so it's the tight, twisty stuff again, which the Porsche is obviously good at with its mid-engine. And I tell you something, Montalbano nearly made contact with Luca Lozio in the final chicane. So Montalbano itching to get past Luca Lozio, who's now 6 seconds adrift of Puzzarini. Absolutely brilliant stint from Puzzarini this. He's lined up his opponent, saved a bit of tyres, and absolutely flying, as you say, in the lead of this race. And he's going to look to nail his pit stop when he does come in. Remember, the pit stops will happen at some point during this race. We're not too sure when, but it looks like everyone, as you said, has gone past that sort of two-stop window. Sorry, it looks like everyone's going to do a one-stop.
I think it's now. If it's two-stopper, it's now, because we are at 38 minutes in the 38 minutes in the race. So basically, we are at 1/3 of the race, and If we will be a two-stopper, it's now. Otherwise, if the drivers will pass the mark of the 45 minutes, I think we are in for a one-stopper race.
Indeed. So Capoccia still going along well in 4th position, and Porter going along nicely in 5th. Marto in 6th after that incident with De Basio. Unfortunately, we don't know where De Basio's actually gone to. He's obviously retired because he's no longer in the timing sheets, which is a shame. He was going well. He was the best placed Mercedes at that moment in time as well. But we're currently on board Montalbano, who's really wanting to get the job done on Luca Lozio so he can get after Puzzarini.
Great race from Semeraro also. I didn't remember exactly how we qualified, but it's 7th position. He was 15 or mid-pack more or less, and so now it is in 7th position. It's quite a race for him.
Yeah, going along nicely. Just
Not
ahead of
bad
that
also
battle
Trifilio.
with so there's Monaco. Yes, Monaco is there. He's right behind Semerano actually. So there's this battle here where each driver is about a second from each other. So it's nicely on the bubble.
Montalbano is trying so hard. It's literally trying every line on Lozio.
He is indeed.
And there you go.
Around the outside, and there's contact. Massive contact into the side of Montalbano as Luca Lozio went in there. And they're still side by side now going into turn 7. I think he's going to try it around the outside, is he? He can't get that done, surely. And Luca Lozio's touched him just a tiny bit in the rear. And he's actually gone off the track and rejoined behind him. And that is job done, I would think, for Montalbano. I don't think there was much doing there. It was hard racing, but for the most part, fair. There was a bit of a contact from Lozio as he was trying to defend the inside. Montalbano sent it around the outside into turn 5, and that allowed him to take the position in the end. After some squabbling for a couple of corners, it's looking like Montalbano now will scamper away, but all of that has allowed Puzzarini's lead to extend to nearly 9 seconds.
Yes.
Cost him around 2 or 3 seconds that lap, but Puzzarini won't be bothered by that one bit. Going on to lap 23 laps completed, and 1 hour and 4 remaining. I feel like the stewards may have a look at that incident just purely because of the points basis. These are the points that matter. These top positions obviously pay more points than the lower down, but everyone having to abide by the same rules. So a bit of a snap of oversteer there for Montalbano. You can see how hard he's pushing to try and get away now from Luca Lozio. He doesn't want to end up behind him. He's off the track at turn 3. He's extended there. That will be probably a track limits warning as well. Remember, these guys do get 3 track limits warnings before then it being a drive-through penalty. So exactly like what the drivers get in real life. Nothing different whatsoever. If you run wide, you get a warning. Do a second one, you get a slap on the wrist. Do a third one, bit of a harder slap on the wrist. And then, finally, it's a slam dunk penalty at that point.
You get shot.
Yes, and you will give up probably about 30 seconds worth of time trundling down pit lane, which is never, ever good. But it looks like everyone now, other than these two, have all very much spread out in the top 7, other than this battle for 7th and 8th, actually. Which is
Monaco and Semeraro.
Monaco and Semeraro. So both in equal machinery, both in the Ferrari. And I'm thinking Monaco.
Do you think that Montalbano and Lozio contact has led to some damage? Because I saw Lozio that has been a nice tight contact between them, and I didn't remember if it was Montalbano or Lozio at the inside, but the scrap was something.
I would think they probably do have a bit of damage. Not sure who will have come worst off. I would probably say Montalbano will be okay with that because it was a bit of side-on damage, side-on contact, for him. Whereas Luca Lozio, it was a bit more front-on, to be honest. It was more that his front right corner into the left-hand door of Montalbano. But yeah, we'll see how they do pace-wise. But the lead now 9.5 seconds for Puzzarini, and Montalbano has checked out now from Luca Lozio to the tune of 1.7 seconds. So definitely pulled a gap now after just 1.5 laps since the incident, getting past each other. So Moretti also looking now to get a bit racy. Looks like he's only 5/10 behind the Mercedes. Very, very close between quite a lot of the midfield guys, actually. There's not a lot of places.
Yeah.
One thing we do need to speak of is
Yeah, the big gap
definitely
is on board actually.
the Lamborghini of Chiesa is now down in 21st place. He was running up around 14th, I believe. So
Yes.
something has happened along the line there in the last lap or two, because I was going to jump to him before that battle for second and third started kicking off. I was going to give a shout out to the Lamborghini because he was running, I think, in 14th place. He's now lost 7 places more and is down in 21st. So basically last, other than Dondi, who, well, last of the runners, let's say, other than Dondi, who is obviously a lap down.
There is Rosmarino chasing Janfres, but it doesn't seem to have the power to get it. It's also quite a feat, I would say, to drive the Camber's Nissan GTR along a track like this one. And we can see that it's not a walk in the park because it's in 14th position. But nonetheless, a solid race from Rosmarino until now.
So it looks like we've actually just lost another driver of some form, because we were at 22 remaining drivers, now at 21. So we have just lost someone. I'm not sure who it was.
I'm looking at the
Janfrest in the
first
pit lane. First pit stop being made by Janfrest, who, as you can see...
Oh, we got also, I'm seeing a drive-through for the Santis.
Yes, just checked that
Track
as
limits.
well. Just popped up. So as we were just talking about track limits warnings, DeSantis has now been handed a drive-through penalty, so that's not going to do his chances any good whatsoever. Not only has he got to make his pit stop, he's also got to do a drive-through penalty. So not good at all. Janfres in the pit lane. We'll see where he feeds out then, because he could be near the back of the field, but he'll have an hour of race time left, should I say, to get those tyres to the end.
It's a bit of a strange time to do a pit stop right now, because you have to race 1 hour and one entire hour until the end of the race. So maybe you have to stop because his tire were dead.
Also got the other Lozio, Davide Lozio, in the pit lane in his Porsche. But as we say that, Janfrest does rejoin, and he's gonna come out behind. I feel like that will be Rotundo. Yes, it is.
Yes.
Rotundo, who obviously hasn't pitted yet, because Janfrest is the first of the pitters. Lozio, Davide Lozio, Porsche, is also in pits. Now we are seeing pit stops now. Semberaro in the pits, Amato in the pits, Carturan in the pits. Everyone is now decided this is the moment, which, as you say, is a bit of a strange time to come in for a pit stop. There's plenty of guys pitting, so we'll have to see where all of these feed out, because they were all kind of close to each other. Amato obviously pitting from 6th position. So let's see where he resumes anyway as well.
Carturan, DeSantis, Amato, Semeraro. I think during the next lap we will see someone else coming in.
So meanwhile, we do have a battle on track between Moretti and
Tozzato.
Tozzato. Yes, Tozzato, that's the Mercedes. Yes, it is. It's the silver Mercedes. He's under pressure from the Aston Martin.
In chat, people it's hoping for Aston Martin triple point finish, but I don't think it will be the case.
Can't see that at the moment. Well, actually, no. A triple points finish. Points pay down to what position?
No, sorry, point. I mean in the first, second, and third. My bad.
Right. Yeah, first, second, and third. Luke's kind of unassailable for the Astons at the moment. We've got one in seventh, which is this man here, Moretti. We've then got Angelo, who's managed to make his way all the way up into 10th. Obviously,
Yeah.
he's yet to pit, but cracking job from Angelo, definitely, to get himself off the back of the field all the way up there. And then
If
the
it
next
wasn't-
one being Gagliardini.
If it wasn't for the crash at the start of the race, likely Trifilio could be even in a more higher position. So quite a shame for him, and quite a shame for the problem that he had at the start of the race, because he would have been way more higher in the field.
Yeah, he definitely would have been, with that Aston Martin looking good for him. Have a quick see where he is on track. He's coming through turn 3 at the moment. Another driver in the pit lane now, being Colombo. So he's going to come down pit lane. So we've got another drive through for Davide Lozio. Looks like he was probably for speeding in pit lane, I would think, because he was in pit lane before we saw him leave. And yes, he is in pit lane now, serving that drive through. And he's going to have that penalty removed now, I believe. Yes, there he goes. So out of pit lane he charges.
Vladi Colombo in the pits also.
Yes, Vladi Colombo. Yes, he's pitted from quite a high position, but let's see where he is at the moment. Is he Colombo?
For now, the front runners, no one of the front runners has yet stopped. So, and seems that they are waiting for the right half of the race spot to do it.
Saw a bit of a battle emerging. There we go. I found it. I did not know who it was, but I saw them flash past the pit lane when we were watching Colombo in the pit lane, and it was Jamfrest against. I don't think that is Vladi Colombo in front, is it? No, it isn't. The timing sheet hasn't updated yet. So
It's in 16th position, Colombo, coming out of the pits right now.
it's Carturan. That's who it is. Carturan in front of Jamfrest. So these drivers both have pitted, I think. We saw them both in the pits together. So come out very close together of these two. Nothing doing at the moment, but they're very close going through turn 9, which is gonna hopefully give the run to Jamfrest, is it? Let's have a see. Gonna think about a move. He has gone to the inside. Is he gonna get later on the brakes? He's gonna try it, and he nearly makes contact with the Ferrari ahead of him, but not quite managing to get the move done. Still very, very close through turn 12, though. Carturan doing a fantastic job of defending at the moment. But a bit of a gap to Semeraro, though. 8 seconds down the road. So these two are going to want to get on with it, with 53 minutes left of the race. Luca Lozio in the pits.
Moretti un tozzato, no, Moretti un Colombo. No, sorry, un tozzato and they touch. They touch. Moretti has passed tozzato, but has gone too long, and then has been a bit of a contact.
Yes, I've just spotted the end of that, with Moretti getting back going when you said. So Moretti has lost positions now to...
Two positions.
So yeah, this Lamborghini and also the Porsche. These for position. I don't think that, the Lamborghini lets him through. That's Chiesa in the Lamborghini. He's let
Marino coming in the pits.
plenty of people making the pit stops now. Would you say this is the right time?
Yeah, this is perfectly half of the race, so it's clearly a one-stopper.
Yeah. So lots of people filtering in. Have to read out the positions and whatnot once we know what's what, but looks to be, there you go, there's the marker for halfway into the race. Exactly.
Also the official spotter, or the official race director said that we are halfway the race.
Yeah. So Luca Lozio is resumed in 8th position now with a fresh set of boots on his car. So we'll see what sort of lap times he can manage and if he can close down that gap to Montalbano and Puzzarini ahead of him. Well, net ahead of him because of them not making a pit stop. We'll see when they dive in the pits as well. Very interesting to see how that all fans out after the stops. But yeah, Moretti has, so he's resumed in 7th. So he hasn't lost a drastic amount of time. Chiesa, actually, in the Lamborghini, is actually looking faster than him at the moment. I don't know whether Chiesa's actually been in the pit lane, and that's why he's actually a lap down to these guys. He's running in 17th position, so he is getting blue flags. I don't think driver behind battling with him. I feel like he is. I think that might be Colombo. It is. Bloody Colombo. There we go, yeah. So these two are in a battle of their own for 17th and 18th place. Meanwhile, 6th, 7th, and 8th are all having a battle.
I'm surprised by the pace of Puzzarini and Montalbano. They have still to pit, and look at the pace that they are actually keeping. In particular, Puzzarini, because it's 10 seconds clear of Montalbano. Also Capoccia just stopped, and also Monaco and Moretti. So, but Puzzarini and Montalbano are soldiering on again and again, and we are way up after the half of the race. So let's see if Puzzarini it's coming out now in the pits. But
Okay.
great work nonetheless with a set of tires that we assume was completely done. Also Montalbano in the pits.
I followed him in. You can see in the background there, Puzzarini and Montalbano both in pit lane. So this is crucial for the lead of the race to see if these guys can nail the pit stops, hit the marks, as we discussed last week.
Yeah.
Being a crucial part of it. Hitting the marks, going straight up onto the jacks, no time lost, being rolled back into your position by your pit crew, and having your tyres and fueling done with no problems at all is crucial to having a clean stop and being as fast in and out as possible. Just
When
see
they-
there.
when they
that's
came in the
Moretti
pits,
pitting
there was
out now. Yes.
yes. When they came in the pits, there were 8 seconds, 0.6 between them. So I think that Puzzarini for now it's safe, unless of something of unexpected. In fact, Puzzarini has just started coming out from the pits. Let's see where he falls down.
Luca Lozio is actually only just exiting the final corner. Meanwhile, Puzzarini, leader of the race, resumes in the lead of the race, I think. He looks to have managed to do that. And this battle here, so this is the leader at the moment. And he's actually got a Mercedes and the two guys who are further down. So so he hasn't resumed in the lead of the race. The car directly ahead of him is Luca Colombo, and he is the net leader of the race. But he's the leader of the race, but
Yes.
Puzzarini is the net leader of the race
Yes.
because of the pit stops not fanning out quite yet. But we've got this battle just behind it. Shot you can see. It's this battle here. Chiesa is holding off Colombo at the moment, Vladi Colombo, in the Ferrari. But then all mixed up in this as well is Tozzato in the Mercedes just behind them here. So he's actually got, I believe it is 16th and 15th place directly ahead of him, who are actually faster at this moment in time. So these have actually passed him just recently and are now, as you can see, Chiesa is actually checking out from him. So
Puzzarini in a hurry to pass Colombo, clearly, because Colombo has tires that are completely done, and he feels that it's losing time, but he didn't know, or maybe he knows because he got his team manager watching for our live stream, that Montalbano is caught in a lot of traffic. If you see Montalbano, actually it's in the chicane, and Montalbano
Lozio
got
all
Lozio
over him.
behind. Yep.
yes, he is. Luca Lozio has got the run on him now. He's practically pushing him down the straight. So the big winner in all of these pit stops is definitely Luca Lozio. He's managed to get out on the fresh tyres, do some cracking laps. He's going to jink to the inside now into turn 1. Is he going to send it up the inside of him? No, he isn't. He's going to slot back in behind Montalbano for the moment. As you said about tyre temperatures and things like that, Puzzarini was eager to get past Colombo because he didn't want to be losing time to these two. But as you said rightly, these are stuck in traffic as well. Montalbano probably got holed up just a touch, and that allowed Luca Lozio as well with the early pit stop to try and get the undercut on him, and it nearly worked for Lozio, but he has rejoined behind him, and he will be on older tyres come the end of the race, which is going to be very interesting because we saw what happened in the first stint. That was very much not in favour of Lozio. He struggled towards the end with tyre grip and was losing a lot of time to Montalbano and Puzzarini, but we'll see now what the gap is, because I think Puzzarini has, even though he was held up a little bit by Colombo, although there was no blue flags needed, he didn't have to move out of the way. It was for position, even though Colombo hadn't pitted. Puzzarini still, yes, remains with a 10-second lead there or thereabouts. So this is now Puzzarini's race really to lose with 45 minutes to go. He's just got to keep a calm head, watch out for any traffic, and just make sure he can get the job done. But Luca Lozio looking racy again on the exit of the chicane. Go on board with him quickly, see if he gets much of a slipstream down the straight. Right up behind the gearbox of the following Porsche.
Gets the slipstream.
Gonna have the slipstream. He's going to think about a move. He is. He's going to go down the inside into turn 1. Is Montalbano going to leave him room this time? And he does. And they're still side by side on the exit into 2. And he just squeezes through.
Wonderful
cracking
overtake
move from Luca Lozio. Now is the chance for him to get down the road. Don't you agree?
Yeah, absolutely. But the great work from Montalbano in leaving him the perfect space, not to lose too much time, not to put himself in harm's way. I think that Montalbano actually is thinking in the long term, because he knows that Lozio in the first part of the stint of his tires, it's something that it's hardly manageable in a close battle. But if the same thing will happen in the second part of the race to Lozio, I think that Montalbano is just waiting for the tires of Lozio to starting to fade and getting on him at the right moment.
Yeah, exactly. I think he knows to bide his time. He doesn't want to risk any major incidents defending that position like crazy at this stage of the race. At the end of the day, there is still 44 minutes left to go, so a long time yet. And as we said as well, Lozio pitting earlier than the other two front runners, so his tyres will go off even earlier than what they did before. I think he was just struggling so much from that first stint. He couldn't stay on that first set of tyres too much. You may see him look after his tyres a little bit more though. Even though Montalbano is close behind, you might see Lozio, with the knowledge he's gathered from the first stint, he may be more conservative, so they might not be as bad of a drop-off as Montalbano might be expecting. So he'll try and keep him within arm's distance, within striking distance, to be able to make a move at the end. So we'll keep an eye on whether Lozio can get scampering down the road whilst these tyres are in good condition. Meanwhile, we do have so the gap to Capoccia. We'll give a shout out and some airtime to Capoccia, because although he's driving around on his own, he's driven an absolutely brilliant race at the moment. His best lap of the race is a 1:45.0, and his last lap was a 1:45.5, so lapping very consistently, even though he is 17 seconds off the front three. Probably more like half a minute off Puzzarini with his pace in the Porsche, going along very nicely indeed. But Capoccia, I feel like, needs a bit of a shout out, because he's had a nice clean race. He's kept his nose clean, and he's plugging away nicely to get some good points in the championship. And speaking of championships, whilst everything's died down a little bit,
I was thinking about the championship. Where is Porta?
Good point. That's the driver we lost. I was just thinking Porter. As soon as you mentioned Porter, I went to look for his name, and it isn't there. You are correct. We've lost Porter from the race. The Aston Martin. We are now down to only 20 runners left, which is a big shame. 5 drivers have dropped out of the race, unfortunately, but we've still got plenty of racing action. But
Yeah,
the,
Porta. It's actually it's in the server, so yeah, it's actually retired. We didn't saw accidents, maybe a disconnection or something like this. Rosmarino, it's doing a wonderful race until now. He's chased by Colombo, that seems to be quite racy, but Rosmarino, let's remember, he was starting in the lower part of the grid, and it's actually in 8th position, chased by Colombo. But quite a good job from the only Nissan actually present on the track.
yeah, he's doing well. He has just gone a little bit deep now, and that's allowed Colombo the run on him down the straight. But we'll see how the Nissan drives off the final corner and down the start-finish straight. He looks to have had a really good run, actually, even though he went a bit deep into the corner. Is Colombo going to think about a move? He jinks to the inside to let him know he's there, but he's not going to try anything too risky. These two both having a really good race. I think Colombo started fairly far down. I don't think he was in the top 10. I feel like he was probably 15th or lower. The Nissan doesn't look as planted as the Porsche. Definitely not. It looks like the Porsche is actually going to have the inside now, is it? No, not quite. Will he lunge down the inside? No. You'll think better of it. Live to fight another day. But the Porsche definitely looking like it's more racy, as you said. And he's going to come down the inside now into turn 5, which he does. And the Nissan gives him plenty of room. He knows he's having a good race, does Rosmarino. He knows he's definitely on for some good points. So we'll resume in P9 and try and hopefully pull away from those behind him, which is this battle here. We've got the Mercedes, the Ferrari, and the Aston for P10, 11, and 12. And these guys all squabbling for position after their pit stops as well.
We got also Gianfrest on Tozzato.
So Gianfrest on Taz.
Entry Figlio. It's
yeah,
three,
that's the battle
three.
I'm talking about. Yeah, 10th, 11th, and 12th. Yes, Gianfrest defending and attacking if he can. But so Angelo Trafilio has managed to resume in 12th after his pit stop, and he's not far off getting a top 10 position. Only 2 positions away, and he can see both of them in clear light in front of him. So hopefully he will be able to get the job done, because that will be a good story from him, starting last after his issues, as we said.
Solid race, absolutely.
A really solid race, considering the Aston isn't the strongest car. We said he was a good all-round car, so it's doing very well in the longer stint. Meanwhile, at the front, we've still got the 10.5 second lead of Puzzarini from Lazio, and Montalbano has actually dropped back a little bit. He's actually in some traffic now, so the drivers are hitting traffic. We've got Luca Lazio who's behind. I believe that will be Vladi Colombo.
Yes, back markers.
So this is
for them,
not for position. It is back markers, so he'll get the job done into turn 1. But now there is 2 cars between Montalbano and Lazio, so the plan of Montalbano, waiting till later in the race and hopefully getting the job done, is suddenly looking a little bit harder, although he has now cleared one of the Porsches that were in his way between him and second place. But there's still Vladi Colombo to negotiate, although he made it nice and easy for Lazio to get by. So I'm sure he'll be watching his mirrors to see Montalbano catching him. Puzzarini, we'll have a quick look at his lap time. So he's actually just set his fastest lap of the race.
It's pulling away. Yep, again.
1:45.021 is his best lap, and it's also his last lap. So we'll stick with him a minute and just see if he can improve actually on this lap. He looks like you can just see how much he's pushing to try and get the best out of that green and black Porsche. Porsche, one of the best looking cars on the game, I think. I've always been a fan of the Porsches.
And in real life, I would say.
Yeah, always very nice looking. I think one of my favourite parts of it is the 4 little LED lights in each headlight. It's one of the standout things for me is when people start flashing the lights and racing at night and things. Them really stand out on the Porsches. And his last lap was a 45.279, so not quite as quick, but only 0.2 off his best. So absolutely flying along Puzzarini at the moment. Where is Puzzarini in the championship after race 1? Where was he?
I will take a look in a
Just
minute.
so we can
For
have a
now,
look.
check Trifiglio because it's smelling the exhaust of Janfrest.
Yes, he
It
is. The
seems to
Mercedes
be-
is scampering off in the distance, and Janfrest struggling at the moment. He's losing time to Dozzato in the Mercedes. And as you say, Angelo looking racy. Is he going to send it down the inside into turn 10? No, he has a think about it though, but nothing doing at the moment. Very, very close indeed between these two. These are the two closest drivers on the track at this moment in time. Other than Rotundo and Colombo in 15th and 16th place. I feel like Colombo's probably lost a lot of time, has he? Vladdy Colombo. Or was he already that far down? I thought he was further up than that.
Yeah, it was quite down in the order.
It was Luca Colombo in the Porsche that I'm thinking of, getting the two surnames
Vladdy and
mixed
Luca.
up.
Yep.
Yeah, so Luca up P8, obviously. He's a little bit far behind the 7th place man of Monaco. Again, Angelo jinking to the inside to make Janfrest aware that he's there and looking to get past, but doesn't upset the Ferrari into turn 1.
So,
run through turn
I'm
2.
here looking at the point tally, and Puzzarini in the first race he had a DNF. He had a DNF along with Vadicolombo, Moretti, Losmarino, and Schiattarella. So Puzzarini is literally starting from scratch his championship right now tonight, and it will not be so easy because there will be only 3 races. We are still at the half of the championship, but with so many points at stake, everything can happen. But I mean, for Puzzarini it will be quite difficult because it's starting from 0 and reaching people like Capoccia, that actually it's in 4th position, and after the problem of Porta that we literally missed because we don't know what happened to him. It will be interesting to see the evolution of the championship because Montalbano, it was in 9th position with 30 points, and actually it's 2nd. Then we got Dondi that was in 6th position, but it seems that tonight we will get very few points. Another possible important driver, the meantime Trifiglio is just dooming on the inside. It was Bilancini in the first race. Did you remember him? Bilancini arrived in 4th position, but tonight it's not here, so maybe he just missed the race. He didn't communicate anything. So there will be some interesting consideration to do on the drivers points table at the end of this race. I think that for now the drivers that will have a nice chance to be in the first place will be Logio and Capoccia.
Yeah, definitely, because Capoccia was up there in race 1 as well. As you say, Bilancini not making it tonight, and Dondi having a torrid time of it. We did just show before, you can still see the car sat in the gravel at turn 9. You can just see it there at the top of your picture. Chiesa in the Lamborghini has got a sorry looking Lamborghini now because it's all crumpled at the front and has now dropped to 20th and last of the runners. Although he isn't running, he is just pulled off to the side of the circuit. Looks like there's probably going to be yellow flags through turn 9 from now on because he hasn't resumed running, but Dondi's now 19th position overall, so he has gained a position. And he's gained obviously a few positions from people either retiring or disconnecting.
Considering
well,
what
so-
happened to Dondi, a 19th position, it isn't so bad because he will get some points anyway.
Yes, exactly.
Not
yeah.
much points, but better than 0 or a DNF.
So we've been watching this battle for a lap or two now with Angelo and Jamfrest, and I'm scared to click away from it just in case something kicks off because they are so close together. Angelo's literally kissing the bumper of Jamfrest. He's nearly in the diffuser of the Ferrari. He's that close, and he's really wanting to get past, but just can't find a way through.
Talking about putting pressure on your opponent,
Pretty much
I know
is.
exactly what is the feeling because I raced against Angelo in our previous sports championship here on esports series, and I have a nice battle with him in Spa, and having him on your bumper isn't a pleasant feeling, I can assure you.
Well, at the moment we've got, as we were talking about as well, the battle just ahead of Angelo and Jamfrest is this battle between Tazzato and Rosmarino. He is 9th and 10th, so looking to still hang on to a top 10 finish in the Nissan, which definitely is not one of the best cars, let's say that, for the GT3 class at the moment with the current balance of performance, but he's really doing well with it at the moment. Is Rosmarino? He's got it up into 9th. He's now
Absolutely.
having to defend though, but he's not too far behind Luca
Tozzato.
Colombo as well, because the Porsche you see directly ahead of him, I believe, is that of Davide Lozio, who's down in P18. So he'll be getting the blue flags momentarily. We'll have a quick check up on the Jamfrest Angelo battle, and I told you we'd click away and we'd miss it. We've just caught the end of the move, and it was Angelo up the inside into turn 1. So eventually that closeness coming out of the final corner and down the start finish has allowed him to get up into P11, as you've just seen it update on your timing screen. So he's got the move done finally, and we've actually now just lost Dondi from 19th position. So he's actually ended up giving Chiesa, who's no longer running, who's sat in the gravel at turn 9, 19th
Big crash
position.
for Chiesa, and it's retirement for Chiesa.
And it's a retirement for him as well now. He is now no longer sat in the pit lane. Sat in the gravel. He's now in the pit lane, which is where he needs to be. So green flag racing resumes at turn 9, which is ideal for everyone. But Angelo, as I said, making it up into 11th, and now we will see if he can get after the Mercedes and the Nissan ahead, who are currently P9 and 10. So these guys have now been let through by Davide Lozio in the yellow Porsche, as you can see behind them now. So very good driving to let these guys through without interrupting the battle.
Trifiglio in the top 10 would be something, in my opinion.
It really will. He's only got 3.9 seconds to make up as well. Not too far at all, really, considering there's another half an hour of this race left yet. So not really got much movement at the front either. We've got Pucciarini's dropped his pace a little bit now. Last lap was a 46.0, so a second off his best. Luca Lozio is actually faster on that last lap by half a second. His fastest lap is actually a 44.4, so he's actually 0.6 of a second quicker than Pucciarini on his fastest lap, but he is 10 seconds behind him. So outright pace must have been set in the first stint from Luca Lozio, but he's struggling to find that pace now with a 45.7 last lap. Let's have a look what Pucciarini did. Another 45.0, so back on pace with what his fastest is. So, right there.
In chat, everybody is waiting for the expected Lozio tire drop moment. That if we look at what happened, if the first part of the race could come in the next 10 minutes.
10 minutes.
So everybody are on their toes for this, because Montalbano, a Montalbano Losio battle in the last part of the race will be quite exciting.
And Marto has actually just been given a track limits warning penalty. So he's been given a drive-through penalty, so that's a real shame for him. He's now in 13th currently, so that's going to drop him down a lot further than that. Probably a couple of places, I would say, going off the gaps, what we're looking at. Still got the battle for 9th raging on. The Nissan, followed by the Mercedes. Jump on board with the Mercedes and have a look how he's getting on. Looks like he's managing to hold the line nice and tight through turn 3 actually. So better exit, but the Nissan has a lot of grunt down the straight actually. He's managing to pull a gap through there. We've got a fair through turn 4. A bit wide from the Mercedes, but he's still there or thereabouts. Nissan's lighting up the front of the Mercedes. Great lights, that is. The drive-through's actually been cleared now for Amato. Has he now served his penalty? I would assume he has. He's still he lost one position. 14th he is.
Oh, Tozzato wide, trying to put impression on Rosmarino, and also now Tozzato going very deep with the braking point.
Yeah, so
getting close
the
to
exit at turn 9. He got all squirrely on the exit, didn't he?
Or getting close to Rosmarino, it's something, but I think passing him will be quite another kind of situation.
One man on the charge is that man just in the back of your shot, which is Angelo. He's coming through the final corner now, and he's only 2.5 seconds back now.
Yeah, it's slowly getting on them.
3.5, so he's catching him. That time around was a 46.5. So let's have a look what these guys did. 46.8 and 46.6. So not as much gained on that lap, but definitely catching. But Rosmarino doing a brilliant job in the Nissan, as we said. Still in 9th place, managing to hold off the following Mercedes. But we've got a battle emerging actually for 7th and 8th as well. Got Luca Colombo
and Gianni Monaco
as well. So this battle now closing up after a couple of fast laps from Colombo in the Porsche. Obviously he passed Rosmarino a bit earlier on, about 10 minutes ago I would think. So he's got 25 minutes to try and find a way past. Like the Porsche is one of the better cars at the moment. It looked fantastic at Silverstone.
Yep.
And it looks great at Catalonia as well. We'll see how it fares in 2 weeks' time at Paul Ricard as well in France, which is going to be round 3 of the championship. So that'll be very interesting. A lot of tight, twisty sections, but also a huge straight. So top speed got to be crucial, but also having them downforce levels not too trimmed out, so you can still manage to get around the corners and the twisty sections nicely and not lose too much time. So setup got to be crucial.
I don't know if the version of the Paul Ricard used will be the one with the chicane in the middle of the straight, or will
so it's the one without the chicane.
It's the one without?
Yes, so it's all
that's
one
something.
straight. So you can gain massive time, obviously, from just having lower aero conditions on the car. But obviously, if you take too much aeros off, then you end up struggling through the corners. And there's plenty of them. So finding that nice balance in performance for your car. Obviously, different cars will have different capabilities. So very interesting to see if the Porsche will be as quick there as it has been in the first 2 races. definitely Porsche and Ferrari's looking strong. Aston, obviously, said about it being a good all-rounder. Angelo, still, he is actually 2.8 back, so it's
He
now lost a little bit of time.
Yeah, 2 or 3 tenths.
If there's any kind of issues going on with the Mercedes and the Nissan ahead, he will surely jump on the opportunity to pass if he gets a chance, because these two are getting awfully close now. 0.2 of a second, 1 car length between them. Stick with this. Pretty much the only battle on track as of yet. We're on lap 46 and the Mercedes goes a bit deep, you know. He's made a mistake through the final chicane, and that's gave the Nissan plenty of breathing room now.
I'm looking at the time split between Montalbano and Losio, and from 4 seconds, 0.5, I think it was 3 laps ago. Now seems that Losio is starting to lose from Puzzarini and also lose on Montalbano, that it's now at 3.6 seconds. So there it goes, the Losio tire moment.
We'll do what the viewers want, and what they wanted last time was to go on board with Luca Losio. So just as he's going across the line,
3.3 seems that Losio still is in the harm's way, because seems that these tires are start to giving up again.
yeah, definitely he's dropped time.
Yeah.
So 4:46.3 last lap for Luca Losio. See what the gap is now. 3.1 now to Montalbano. Montalbano
Yeah.
looking like he's fine.
There it goes. Montalbano knew, because as we said in the first, as we said 20 minutes ago, more or less, it's something inherently characteristic of the Losio driving style, that likely it's making him gain in time in the first part of the stint when the tires are fresh, but there's seems that not much he can do in the second one, when seems that he has used too much of his tires.
Yeah, definitely. He looks to punish the tyres too much, it seems, at the beginning of the stint, which then costs him time in the end. And we hear it all the time in all forms of motorsport, but especially Formula One, being looking after the tyres and not taking too much out of them, and leaving a bit of lap time on the board. Because if you look at Montalbano's fastest lap with a 45.3, and Puzzarini's fastest lap when we last saw was a 45.0, so that is around 0.6 of a second slower, and in Montalbano's case it's 0.9 of a second slower than Luca Losio's fastest lap. So although Losio does hold the fastest lap of a 44.4, his pace is now suffering. So last lap round was a 45.8 for Montalbano and a 46.0 for Luca Losio. So less time lost then, only 0.2, but still 0.2. If he catches him at that rate for the next few laps, he'll be right with him shortly after. And I believe there is a back mark in the form of Moretti ahead of Luca Losio as well. So could be potentially held up a little bit there.
Puzzarini seems safe for now, but Montalbano now seems ready to put the gap in the 2 seconds area. Also Trifiglio seems he's doing his homework, because it's slowly catching Tozzato and Rosmarino, and could gift us with a nice end of the race. Come on, Angelo.
Indeed, Angelo is 1.3 back now, and the Mercedes Tozzato has struggled to get past the Nissan. Pretty even gap between all of these. So, as you can see, the Mercedes is visually further away from the Nissan.
Oh, Capoccia just missed someone, stopped in the midst of the chicane. I think it was a back marker, but I don't know who it was exactly.
Could well have been Amato. He's the blue Ferrari.
Maybe. No, Amato is it's arriving right now at the chicane. Maybe Gagliardini. I don't know exactly who it was, but
Amato in the pit. Amato pit from 14th.
yeah, yeah, maybe it was him.
He was in the pit lane.
Montalbano 2.8 seconds in the meantime, and Rosmarino is 1.2.
So there we go. Let's go back. So Rosmarino, 1.1 and 1.2, as you said. It's this battle that's quite close.
Capoccia doing some math. It's clearly thinking about the championship, 20 seconds shy of the third place of Montalbano. No reason to pushing him, and also it's already safe from car to run, so Capoccia is clearly aiming to do some nice homework and thinking like a Lauda of the old times in thinking about the championship.
Well, we've
I
got a
think
great
it's
battle here from
Yep.
Vladi Colombo and Rotundo, actually. Rotundo actually lost the position briefly to Colombo on the exit of turn 5, but then regained it in turn 6 and 7. So very, very close battle between the Ferrari and the Porsche here for 14th and 15th place. Very, very close, and it's looking like now Rosmarino has lost a bit more time. It's 8/10 the gap now to Tazzato in the Mercedes. So all very, very close, and we've also got the other Colombo. Luca Colombo is 3/10 behind the
Semeraro.
Ferrari of Semeraro. So he's got to try and get the move done if he can now. There's 15 minutes remaining, so not too long left, but definitely time to get the move done if he can. In the other 168 portion, he's just had a bit of a moment as the Ferrari of Semeraro, and he's off the track and he's lost the position.
Yes.
Not sure what happened there. I think he just went deep.
I think he had a snap oversteer, trying to catch the car for the opposite direction, and Colombo has been able to pass him. Trifiglio, 7/10.
Right there then. So it's
the
6
gap,
and 7/10.
The gap of Montalbano from Lozio seems stabilized at 2.8 seconds, but Trifiglio seems the guy to watch now.
Jump on board with him. See if we can see visually if he's closing on the guys ahead. On board in the Aston, the lovely sounding V8. It's the apex now, it's the turn 1. 46.9 last lap around, so not the quickest of laps compared with his best. He's about 2 seconds a lap slower, but he's still catching the guys ahead. He's closed this gap down, remember, from 3.5 seconds.
Again, after seems to have stabilized the gap from Montalbano, we had another drop of Lozio now at 2 seconds, 0.5.
Have to see if Luca Lozio can hang on to second place, because Montalbano is now only 2.3. So he is catching him. Slowly. But still a fair way to go.
There was
Probably
also a
another 5 or
back
6
marker.
laps. A back marker involved, also, right. So that'll be why. Lost a little bit of time. Lead gap to Puzzarini is 12 seconds, I believe. So still going along nicely. The Mercedes here, he does hit the curb a little bit there. Final chicane, but still going to have a good run, I think.
Back marker moves aside. It doesn't seem that Montalbano has lost time, while Lozio likely 2, 3, 4 tenths of a second
have
And
to see if
yeah,
the young head on young shoulders, if it can become a wise head on young shoulders in the latter part of this race, because if he can hold him off, I think he'll be very happy with that after being basically driven away from in the starting stint of the race, after at the very end of it anyway. But we've got a move here from the Mercedes. The Nissan goes up to the outside, Mercedes to the inside, and nearly contact, but nice clean driving from both of them. I thought the Nissan was actually going to leave the door open then for the Mercedes to just walk through, but it didn't in the end.
knowing Rosmarino won't gonna happen.
Rosmarino driving a stellar race at the moment, and Angelo's still there or thereabouts, and the Nissan's wide. The Nissan's wide coming through turn 9, and that's going to give the Mercedes a run, and Angelo's got the pound seat for this one, and so have we. We're on board with it. And the Mercedes tries around the outside of 10. He's going to lose the inside, though, 4.11, and he does have to slot back inside, and that all of this, meanwhile, has allowed Angelo right on the back of him. Here we go, then. 3-car battle, 3 different manufacturers for the lead. The Mercedes getting impatient, jinking to the inside. We've got Trafilio here into the chicane. We'll go on board with him, see if we can see any move happening. Coming through the final corner now. Nissan again looking like it gets the run off, and the Mercedes dips a wheel in the gravel on the exit, and that's given Angelo the chance. He's going to pick up a bit of slipstream from the Nissan, and that's looking like job done, I would think, into turn 1, side by side.
So it seems.
But he does have his nose ahead and squeezes him over onto the curb a little bit, and that's nice move from Angelo. Now, next target is the Nissan. It was a gifted position in the end, because Tozzato ran a little bit wide through the final corner, trying to get a really good run to get past the Nissan, but the Nissan has been excellent down the straight. The top speed of that thing has been brilliant for him to scamper off down the road enough each time, so the Mercedes hasn't been able to make a move. But we'll see if Angelo now can put pressure on the Nissan. We've seen the Mercedes sit there for, what, 10, 15 laps now, and not be able to make the move, and he's been within a second since then. And now he's made the mistake, and Angelo's slotted himself in between these two. So we'll see if he can put him under any kind of different pressure, or line him up, size him up, and make the move to get into the top 9 positions, because he is now in the top 10.
Yeah.
Which is a brilliant drive at the moment. But anything can happen with 9 minutes to go.
Yeah,
meanwhile, Montalbano 1.6.
I think this is one of the Trifilio better drives I've always saw. Coming from last, it's getting a top 10. It's quite an achievement, but I think that Trifilio tonight will go for a 9th place, because it seems that he's a lot more committed than the drivers that are actually surrounding him. Here it goes on the main straight. In the meantime, 1.5 relentlessly Montalbano is catching Losio. It's happening what we have forecasted at the start of the race. At the start of the speed,
and Angelo closes up under braking, but not quite being able to force the door open. But my God, he got close then through turn 1 and into turn 3 now on the exit. Is he going to be able to send one up the inside into turn 4? He's
Montalbano, Losio, it's 3/10, watch it.
It is, and it's down turn into turn 1. Montalbano's looking for the inside, but not quite. We'll have to go back to the Angelo battle and see if he can get the job done. But
Angelo also just passed Rosmarino right now.
Does he actually? We've just missed it. No way.
We are actually, we don't know where to look, because
the Mercedes is up the inside as well now. The Nissan going to lose 2 spots. And he has.
Montalbano, Losio, watch it.
We'll go back to Montalbano and Losio, and he's not quite through yet. I think he's probably got a hold position here. Losio looking like he's struggling. It looks so hard to handle for him just on the exit there.
Yeah, here we go again. Tire crisis for him. We got a drive-through now for the 19 Caris the Gagliardini.
Yeah, so we'll see if Trafilio can get ahead now of the Mercedes and the Nissan. Unfortunately, Rosmarino dropping out of that top 2 position, but we'll go back to the Losio Montalbano battle, because this is where the big points are being paid out.
Oh, Tozzato was about to get Trifiglia in the back, just barely. He missed it. But honestly, I don't know where to look, Aiden.
I really don't either. This sounds exactly like what was going on at the start of the race. We didn't know where to look. We were flicking to one battle and then missing another, but we'll try and do his best to bring each and every bit of the action. But
Seems that Trifiglia could be able to pull away, leaving the Tozzato and Rosmarino couple to asking themselves what just has happened.
yeah, I think it's going to be between Rosmarino and Tozzato for the final top 10 position, because I feel like Angelo Trafilio should be able to get further ahead down the road. I mean, it's only half a second between the three of them at the moment.
We are
Keep an
6
eye.
minutes and a half before the end of the race, so we can safely assume that there are 4 laps, maybe. Yes, 4 laps until the end of the race, maybe 5, I think, but 4 laps, it's the best estimate we could get. And so Montalbano, I think it's fighting himself to get discipline in waiting for a further step back of the grip of the tires of Logio, or attacking immediately, attacking him immediately. Let's see what is happening. There is a back marker coming right now that goes on the gravel, not to stay on the way.
So that is actually Lozio's father, I believe, who's gone on the gravel, the yellow Porsche. So we'll go back to this battle then. For second place, we just showed a little bit of the Nissan Mercedes Aston Martin battle, but you can see how hard Montalbano is pushing. Bit of a slide through turn 12 from Lozio. He's pushing to try and keep that car ahead. Last lap around, they were 47-0. So
Come on, Giuseppe, you can do it.
I feel like it's one of these inevitable moves. We saw what happened. The chat were right about the tyre degradation kicking in for Lozio again, but he's doing enough at the moment. If you remember, he held up and defended against Puzzarini for a good 15 laps under this kind of pressure for the lead of the race. So let's see if he can do it for second. Obviously, the tyres are a lot older at this point as well, but they are on light fuel. So
maybe something that can come in help of Logio is the fact that I didn't notice during I didn't look it for the whole race, but it worth mentioning that the track temp, it's actually 36 degrees, so we lost 14 degrees actually.
no, 46 degrees it is.
Yes.
Cool.
It's
Yeah, so
36, but we started at 50 degrees, so
no, so
quite
the air
change.
temperature's 37 and the track temperature's 46 apparently, according to mine. So we've only lost 4 degrees. I don't know whether
It
that's
wasn't
right.
50 degrees at the track when we started the race. It was 50.
Yeah, and mine says 46.
No, mine says 35.
Not sure what. Do you know what that might be? It might be because I've left the session and rejoined. It
okay.
might only be tracking it from that, so we will go off what yours says, and that's, like you say, a track temp drop of 14 degrees, which is massive, especially in terms of tyres, because I feel like Lozio won't be struggling half as much as he was at the very middle of the race, but he is definitely under some serious pressure from Montalbano right now, and Montalbano nearly pushing him through the chicane. He's saying, you can almost see him in his helmet saying, "Come on, get on with it, I want to get off the corner," and he just cannot.
It's clearly waiting for the right moment to pass Lozio out of just sheer better traction, because he has the tires in better shape.
Yeah, you can see how much of the track both of them are using on the entry into turn 1, using all of the track limits, all of the curb on the way through. Look how hard Lozio's working the wheel through turn 3 now as well. He's just caught a little snap of oversteer from hitting the curb. Is Montalbano going to think about sending one down the outside or up the inside? Indeed, and he's going to. And there's contact, and he's hit him, and they both. Oh, Lozio's off in the gravel. That's a bit naughty from Montalbano. We said about him waiting for the right moment, and he actually ended up on the grass on the inside. I don't know whether Lozio may have moved a little bit under braking to force him on the grass a little bit, but it was touch and go, that move. It was very, very close, but either way, how it stands at the moment, we can only cast it like that, and that is Lozio rejoining. I believe it's probably ahead of the back marker that just come through. I don't think Capoccia is close enough. But yeah, Montalbano does take the position.
I think we got other material for the stewards, but also I'm eager to wait for the point tally to see who's coming on top at the end of this race, because we got Capoccia, we got Logio that just got position, Puzzarini in the first race got DNF, so everything is still in balance.
It is. It's all up in the air, and we don't know who sits where at the moment. All we do know is that Puzzarini has driven an excellent race after getting past Lozio. He's kept his nose clean and out of trouble, and he now leads
absolutely
by 20 seconds nearly at the front of the field because of that incident between Montalbano and Lozio. I'm sure it will be looked at, and I'm sure we'll be able to bring you any penalties that do occur, not just that one, but any of the incidents we've seen, especially at the beginning of the race. It was quite a scrappy start to the race, let's say. Plenty of action and incident going on here, there and everywhere, but we can bring you all the updates on them in round 3 in 2 weeks' time.
So far, I think we cannot absolutely complain about the show that this championship is putting up, because we are seeing lots of overtakes, lots of accidents, lots of drama. So far, Assetto Corsa Competizione confirms itself like a good platform for high levels in racing.
Definitely, yeah. I mean, some of the moves we've seen, as we saw earlier on, I think it was it Angelo's move that we saw earlier on? It was absolutely brilliant up the inside, and he managed to get the car stopped. It looks like, is that the end of the race? Seems like, yeah. There you go, Puzzarini.
Yes.
There we go. He's just. I saw the checker flag out, and I was thinking, where's Puzzarini? He's not crossed the line yet, but indeed he has now, and he has won the race. He gave a bit of a swerve, as you saw, across the line, and what a fantastic win for Puzzarini. Absolutely brilliant drive. Once he got past Lozio, he bided his time at the beginning, made the move and made it stick, and then cleared off down the road. Meanwhile, Montalbano does cross the line in P2.
No,
he doesn't.
Wait. Montalbano waited for Lozio.
He did. Now,
he gave
there
back
you go.
position.
I feel like the stewards will look at that a bit more, let's say, lovingly now.
Yeah.
In the sense that the sportsmanship he has allowed Luca Lozio to claim P2 because of that incident. I think he knows that was his fault, so he's kind of admitted fault there and done the right thing and give the position back. Capoccia, the unsung hero of the race, really. He didn't have much going on around him because he was always in nice, clean air, keeping his nose clean. And if you look at his car, it looks in pristine condition because he's not been near anyone.
Also, solid race from Carturan. Really solid race. And Monaco.
Carturan only just now exiting the final chicane and final corner. He's going to come to the inside, pit wall and flash his lights. He's very happy with that one. P5 for him. Very good result in the Aston Martin. Followed by Monaco.
Gianni Monaco, Luca Colombo, Gabriele Semerano, and Trefiglio. Trefiglio was about to get... Ah no, it's a back marker.
Yes,
not
it
mine.
is, yeah. Very close between all of these, though. I feel like the Porsche's run out of fuel. Is the Porsche going to still get it? I don't know.
Which one?
Colombo, I think, ran out of fuel. He came off the final corner really slow, and
Also,
Angelo
Rosmarino,
nearly
it's
got
in
him.
the pits. Rosmarino, it's arriving in the pits.
Rosmarino, yes, he is. He's 12, yes. What has happened there? Why is he... This is what I was saying. We were calling the results as they crossed the line, but these guys hadn't quite finished.
Yes.
He has now crossed the line and finished. I don't know why he's come in the pit lane, though, but he has finished 12th. Jean-Frest managing to get 11th in the end. Tozzano in 10th, so he does claim the last top 10 spot, and Angelo with P9. He nearly got past Colombo.
Colombo, yes, he was getting him.
He was very, very close on the line because I feel like it must have been Colombo ran out of fuel because he came off the final corner well and then slowed coming up to the line. And the back marker, I'm not sure who the back marker was, but Angelo was right tucked up behind the gearbox of the back marker, got a slipstream across the line and then nearly pipped him at the post. But I'll see the gap at the end.
Everybody's arriving in the pits.
Moretti was 13th in the end up. Rotundo was P14. Vladi Colombo
14th, Luca
14th.
Gagliardini 15th, Davide Loggia 16th, Amato 17th, and Chiesa 18th. A lot
Chiesa
of DNF tonight.
was 21 laps down, so really there was only 16 finishes, potentially a few more because maybe a couple of guys have actually left now. Yeah, Luca Lozio has actually left the session and various others, so yeah, we're pretty much there done, to be honest with you. But we'll try and bring up, there we go. So there's the timetables for you guys watching. So let's just have a quick look.
Montalbano, it's begging pardon from Luca about the contact, so he's assuming all responsibility. Great fair play move from him.
I feel like the stewards will probably give him a slap on the wrist for the move, and to be more careful to avoid contact like that happening, because if that happens early in the race, obviously that will affect people way, way more than it did there, because Lozio only lost the one place to Montalbano for that incident, but in giving the place back, I think the stewards will look on it a lot more lightly. But after 59 laps of racing and 105 minutes, we have a winner being Puzzarini in the 911, well, the 991, should I say, GT3R Porsche, and he wins by 24 seconds. Quite a dominant win, considering he had a DNF in the first round. But we can see there, other people that did drop out was, obviously we saw Chiesa in the Lamborghini in the gravel. We then also lost DeSantis, Porta as well.
Bilancini was there
Bilancini
also, but
was in the race.
Yes, we lost it after 7 laps.
Yeah, so he only completed 7 racing laps. He got 50 laps down, so not sure quite what happened to Bilancini. I didn't think we caught that, so bit of a shame really, but...
Also Porta, we completely missed what happened at, we will ask in the after race, and I will report in the next race, because it was the point leader in the championship, but tonight's situation seems about to change. I would bet my money on Lozio and Capoccia for the team leader of the for the driver standings.
Yeah.
But we will see in 2 weeks' time after the eventual penalties, because I think that to now there is clearly material for the stewards again.
Definitely. Plenty to go over for the stewards, and plenty to go over for everyone at home. So if you want to catch any of the action that you missed when the stream finishes, you can obviously whiz it back and have a little look at some of the incidents that we did catch. Unfortunately, we didn't catch every incident, because that is super hard to do when you're in a field like this where there's action left, right and centre and here, there and everywhere. There's no way of us catching everything on camera, but we do try and bring everything we can. But as you said earlier, the Assetto Corsa Competizione game, bringing blancpain to life basically, and providing some brilliant racing action across the field.
Yes. I think we've been able to get almost all the most important action tonight, so seems that people in chat has had a lot of fun. So good for us.
Yeah, very good. Yeah, I'm happy that everyone's enjoyed it, and I'm sure we have as well. I know I did. Definitely, it was a very fun stream once again. But we will be back in Paul Ricard in 2 weeks' time in France, so be sure to come along and tune in then. If you do want to catch any like driver interviews or anything like that, I think you can head over to the Italian stream, and they should be having some driver interviews shortly. But this this stream will go to a normal screen for the time being, but we'll stay live just so the other stream doesn't go down. So if you do want to catch any interviews or anything like that with any of the drivers, those guys are going to be sorting all of that out. But from me and Matteo, I think it's goodbye, is it?
Ah, yes, it is. Thanks a lot, Aiden. Great stream, great night, very fun.
Yeah, thank you very much, and thank you for
Thanks to you.
coming along as well with me, because it makes my life that much easier, especially when I have got a bit of a sore throat starting today, which is not ideal, but I have had plenty of drinks on hand to help me through, but hopefully everyone enjoyed it. We'll be back in 2 weeks for Paul Ricard, as I said, so we'll hopefully see everyone who's in chat, and maybe more as well, in 2 weeks' time. So thank you very much for watching, and we will see you in the next one.